Chapter 104. With an abundance of supreme-grade true Qi spirit stones, Xiao Han finally cultivated this technique to a certain level. However, it was not perfect. The reason was that Xiao Han's current realm was still low. He had only opened 9 true meridians. His body could not store too much profound ice true Qi. The hornless dragon that was formed was only a few feet long and did not have the power to destroy a country. If he met an ordinary true Qi realm cultivator, he could rely on the quality of the technique itself to slightly challenge someone of a higher realm. However, it would be difficult to fight against a sly and cunning monster. Right now, I have to keep trying to open the 10th true meridian and reach the peak of the first level of true Qi realm. Then, I will try to break through to the second level of true Qi realm. Xiao Han knew what his path should be. However, 2 days later, it would be the day that Princess Mo Hen would leave the Eastern Domain. I must leave the Fire Beacon Empire as soon as possible and even leave the Southern Domain. Otherwise, I will always be stuck in my throat. Xiao Han began to think about all kinds of unexpected situations that might happen on the day of the journey. 2 hours later, Xiao Han left the side hall. Xiao Han's residence. Princess Mo Hen came, and the true Qi realm old man with the surname who also came. Xiao Han's entire body and face were covered in a black cloak. Rays of icy light flickered. "Yun, we will be setting off in 2 days," Princess Mo Hen said with a worried expression. "No matter. We will act according to circumstances," Xiao Han said in a deep voice. That uncle who was called Hu Qinghe. He had opened 30 true meridians and was at the peak of the 3rd level of true Qi realm. If he could open the 31st true meridian, he would ascend to the 4th level of true Qi realm. His mental state and life structure would undergo a transformation. However, it was very difficult. The 31st true meridian was a heavenly moat. "Mr. Yun, your injuries have recovered and your power is full. This old man congratulates you. It seems that Mr. Yun cultivates an ice attribute technique," Hu Qinghe said to Xiao Han. Xiao Han knew that this old man was Princess Mo Hen's confidant. Therefore he was still polite to him. A mere profound ice true Qi is not worth mentioning. It is just a small trick of the Jianghu. This time, thanks to the princess's help, I have a day of recovery. I am just a rogue cultivator of the Jianghu. Since the princess recruited me, I will naturally do my best to protect the princess and escort the princess to the Eastern Domain. Senior Hu, how did you arrange the trip? Now, Xiao Han considered himself to be a loose cultivator that Princess Mo Hen had recruited from the pugilistic world. He stopped hiding and purposely released his hornless dragon mysterious ice true Qi to obscure their vision. And? Hu Qinghe looked deeply at Xiao Han. Soon after, he laughed involuntarily. "Mr. Yun, the Empire has recently put out a wanted criminal. This person is the youth from the Pure Rain sect, Xiao Han, and his age is similar to Mr. Yun. If it wasn't for the fact that Mr. Yun's true energy cultivation method is completely different from Xiao Han's, I would definitely misunderstand Mr. Yun." It was Xiao Han. "Ah. Oh? Xiao Han?" Xiao Han's heart skipped a beat as he replied in an indifferent tone. "A disciple of Pure Cloud sect? Never heard of it." Hu Qinghe had a smile on his face. This person has just risen to prominence in the Pure Rain sect with only a stage 1 Jinqi cultivation, but he has already caused a huge disaster. Mr. Yun had never heard of him. It was said that this person practiced a type of spirit turtle true Qi. It was of an ancient style and he was a bladesman. Forget it. Forget about this person. Mr. Yun, this time Her Highness Princess Mo Hen is on a journey. We, the retainers, will all accompany her. In addition, General Nangong Yi will personally lead 2,000 elites to escort her along the way. General Nangong Yi? Xiao Han was stunned. One of the 10 great generals of the Beacon Fire Empire, General Nangong Yi. He is a stage 4 Jinqi expert and a demon hero. He is the cornerstone and pillar of the empire. He is the emperor's favorite, Hu Qinghe said slowly. Mr. Yun should know that the journey from the southern region to the eastern region is arduous. The journey is long and dangerous. For example, those ferocious mountain bandits and pirates. The most worrisome ones are the evil demon clan. If we, the retainers, were to escort Her Highness, it would be difficult for us to overcome the obstacles and successfully reach the eastern region. Hu Qinghe paused for a moment and sighed. We have watched Her Highness grow up. How could we be willing to let her marry to the eastern region? Sigh, the emperor is really cruel. Nangong Yi, stage 4 Jinqi, demon hero? Xiao Han murmured, this Nangong Yi doesn't belong to our camp, does he? Mr. Yun, General Nangong Yi answers directly to the emperor. Moreover, he is a demon hero. This time he is fully responsible for escorting Her Highness. Seriously speaking, we all have to listen to his orders. Hu Qinghe said with a hint of dissatisfaction. General Nangong Yi on one hand is an escort, and on the other hand he is monitoring Her Highness. The entire empire knows that Her Highness is not willing to marry far away. The emperor must be afraid that something will go wrong along the way. He is afraid that we, the retainers, will protect Her Highness and secretly help her escape. This old man has heard that Nangong Yi has the authority to kill us first and report later. So, I understand. Xiao Han nodded slightly. Senior who do we have here? There are 200 maids, 50 gardeners, 50 old nannies, 200 servants, 50 cooks, 50 tailors, 50 musicians, 200 craftsmen, 200 coachmen and 200 coachmen, 500 physical body realm guards, and 5 true energy realm guards under the command of this old man. They are all Her Highness Princess Mo Hen's trusted aides. That's right, including you, Mr. Yun. We have a total of 6 true Qi realm martial artists. Hu Qinghe said in detail. In short, we will protect Her Highness Princess Mo Hen. If we encounter external enemies or even the demon race, General Nangong Yi will lead the army to defend them. Beacon Fire Empire. Imperial Palace. Imperial Study. The emperor sat behind a desk, flipping through an old book. A eunuch entered the study with a hunched back and said in a low voice, Your Majesty, General Nangong Yi is here. Huh? The emperor nodded indifferently. Soon, a middle-aged man wearing a general's armor walked into the study with a majestic gait. This middle-aged man's face was slightly long and narrow like a horse's, but his eyes were bright and his aura was strong. As soon as he entered the study, the temperature in the room rose significantly. Occasionally, a clump of true fire burned behind Xiao Qin. As the light rose, one could vaguely see figures struggling in the true fire, wailing in pain. It was very tragic. Nangong Yi, your heaven-burning true qi, is almost complete. The true fire can burn everything, kill enemies without leaving a trace, lock souls from 1,000 miles away, and burn mountains and seas with a single thought. In 2 years, you may be qualified to participate in the Monster Hero ranking competition and gain a place on the ranking. The emperor looked at Nangong Yi with admiration. Nangong Yi stood casually, his aura was like a sword, or a precipitous mountain that pierced through the blue sky. It was no small matter. Your Majesty, you flatter me. This time, you will escort Mo Hen to the heaven-devouring empire in the eastern region. The journey will be difficult. You should take this opportunity to sharpen your fighting spirit and strengthen your spirit. You have opened 35 true meridians. If you can open a few more, you will have a chance to reach the 5th stage of true qi. The emperor nodded with a smile. Your Majesty, it will be difficult. I have limited talent. I have been stuck at a bottleneck for the past few years, trying to open 36 true meridians without any results. Unless I obtain a heaven-defying treasure or opportunity, it will be difficult for me to improve. Without reaching the 5th stage of true qi, it will be difficult for me to enter the Monster Hero ranking. Nangong Yi's eyes dimmed. There is a way. Nangong Yi. If you return victorious this time, I will beg the Yaoxiao Pagoda to bestow you with some sacred medicine, the emperor said generously. After a pause, the emperor's eyes deepened. It was as if he was looking at a faraway place. Nangong Yi, you know. The ancestral land of the Beacon Fire Empire is in the prosperous eastern region. To be more precise, the Beacon Fire Empire is a branch of the Heaven-Devouring Empire in the eastern region. Back then, a prince of the Heaven-Devouring Empire led his tribe to the southern region and founded the Beacon Fire Empire. He is my ancestor. This time I have finally contacted the upper echelons of the Heaven-Devouring Empire. I hope to use this opportunity to return to my ancestral land. Your Majesty. Nangong Yi hesitated for a moment but still spoke. Your Majesty, are you really willing to let Princess Mo Hen become a sacrifice? The emperor closed his eyes slightly. When he opened them again, his eyes were bursting with light. To return to my ancestral land, there must be an ancestral sacrifice. Moreover, the Heaven-Devouring Empire still follows the clan rule of a living sacrifice. If I do not send a living sacrifice, how can I show my sincerity? A living sacrifice is the most honorable ceremony, it can even move the ancestors and gods. This time Mo Hen's marriage is fake. But, Your Majesty, there is no need to use Princess Mo Hen as a sacrifice, right? Wouldn't it be better to choose some good quality commoner girls from within the empire? Is Your Majesty really willing to sacrifice Princess Mo Hen? Nangong Yi asked doubtfully. When Mo Hen was born, there was a strange phenomenon in the sky. I asked some powerful experts of the Monster Hero Tower for guidance and actually learned that the birth of this girl will cause the destruction of my empire. If I do not execute her before she is 20 years old, the Fire Beacon Empire will fall apart and be destroyed in a day. My head will also be separated from my body." The emperor's eyes flashed with fierceness, becoming more and more intense. "I would rather betray the world. I cannot let the world betray me. How can I allow a mere Emohen to be sacrificed? How can I allow her to overthrow the empire's hegemony? This time she is the sacrifice. Nangong Yi, remember, if there is any change along the way, you can execute Emohen and bring her head back to see me. As for the ancestral sacrifice, I will think of another way. Perhaps, I will personally bring the sacrifice to the heaven-devouring empire in the eastern region. In short, this time, if everything goes smoothly, Emohen will be able to reach the heaven-devouring empire alive and become the supreme sacrifice for the ancestors. That is the best place for her. If there is any change, immediately execute her." This general obeys. Nangong Yi accepted the order. "And on the day of departure, I will not go to see her off, lest I get upset. I have allowed Emohen to live peacefully for so many years, I have already done my best." The emperor waved his hand. "Nangong Yi, you go and prepare for the departure." 2 days later, the day of Princess Emohen's wedding. The majestic procession set off from the Fire Beacon Empire's palace, winding eastward. There were more than 10 li of people in front and behind. Banners were fluttering, colorful clothes were fluttering, wheels were rolling, and drums were beating. It was the majesty of an emperor marrying off his daughter. Although the current emperor of the Fire Beacon Empire did not come to see her off personally, there were thousands of people accompanying her, including palace maids, musicians, tailors, craftsmen, and guards. The wealth of the dowry was even more dazzling. There were dozens of carriages. In the middle of the huge procession was Princess Emohen's carriage, a bronze carriage pulled by 8 flood dragon horses. It was surrounded by Princess Emohen's retainers. Xiao Han, dressed in a black cloak, rode a tall and strong flood dragon horse, guarding the left side of the princess carriage. On the right side was Hu Qinghe. There were also Princess Emohen's personal guards, True Qi realm martial artists, in front and behind. At the front of the procession was Great General Nangong Yi, leading 1,000 elites to open the way. At the back of the procession were Nangong Ye's 2 deputy generals, also leading 1,000 elites to bring up the rear. The procession went out of the palace. On the 10 li long street, the common people were cheering. Humph! Nangong Yi was not riding a flood dragon horse, but a strange beast with the bloodline of an ancient Swanee. It bared its fangs and brandished its claws, looking overbearing. At this time, Nangong Ye's eyes flashed with a mocking expression. "Is it very grand? Princess Emohen, you probably don't know, but this time you are going to the East Domain. It's not a marriage but a living sacrifice. You can only blame yourself for having such a bad fate, bringing disaster to my Fire Beacon Empire. And during this journey you should behave yourself. If you dare to make any strange movements, this seat will kill first and report later." Suddenly, Nangong Ye's eyes flashed with an evil light. He turned around and glanced at Princess Emohen's carriage. His eyes seemed to be brewing something and he could not help but stick out his tongue. He licked his lower lip. After traveling for several hours, General Nangong? A deputy general rode a flood dragon horse and rushed up from behind. This person was at the 2nd level of the True Qi realm and was one of Nangong Ye's trusted subordinates. "General Nangong, this general just patrolled the area. There is a strange person wearing a black cloak in Princess Emohen's personal guard. 1st level of the True Qi realm." A strange person wearing a black cloak? Recently, the entire country has been searching for the youth of the Pure Cloud sect, Xiao Han. This youth seems to have vanished from the face of the earth. It should be impossible for him to sneak into the palace and appear in Princess Emohen's escort team. Nangong Yi was stunned and immediately flicked his nails. "Heng, go and investigate. See what kind of shady person has sneaked into the personal guard of the princess. At the same time, intimidate the princess and the people around her, so that they will behave themselves along the way. There won't be any mistakes." Nangong Yi smiled playfully. "You should understand this seat's meaning, right? This general understands." The deputy general smiled evilly. "This general will let the princess know that once she leaves the palace, her every word and action must be done according to General Nangong's wishes. Whatever princess temper, she should restrain it as soon as possible. And go ahead." Nangong Yi smiled with satisfaction. "Hee. If I sneak in with so many people, I'm afraid no one will notice me, right? As long as I can fool that Nangong Yi, I will be able to sneak out of the southern region without anyone noticing. Those fellows who are chasing after me should give some face to the royal family of the Beacon Fire Empire, right? Now that the emperor is marrying off his daughter, no one will suspect me. Xiao Han silently pondered. However, along the way I will wear a cloak and cover my face. It will inevitably arouse Nangong Ye's suspicion. He is a demon hero, it will be difficult to fool him. At this moment, Nangong Ye's deputy general, Heng, who was at the second level of the True Qi realm, led more than 10 physical body realm martial artists and galloped to the front of the princess carriage. Princess, please stop. What do you mean by this? How dare you stop the princess carriage? Hu Qinghe furrowed his brows and said angrily. The few True Qi realm martial artists beside the princess carriage all changed their expressions. Heng let out a cold snort and looked directly at Xiao Han, who was wrapped in a black cloak. Who are you? I can see that you are not Princess Mo Hen's retainer. Quickly take off your cloak. Impudent. How dare you bully us? Hu Qinghe was already extremely dissatisfied with the princess marrying off to a faraway place. Originally, the princess' personal guards and Nangong Yi did not interfere with each other and coexisted peacefully. Now Nangong Yi actually sent someone to cause trouble. Hu Qinghe was experienced in the martial world. How could he not know that Nangong Yi wanted to take this opportunity to establish his authority? Nonsense. Heng didn't even look at Hu Qinghe from the corner of his eyes. His eyes were filled with disdain. Recently, the Empire has put out an arrest warrant for a young man from the Pure Rain sect. You are hiding here and there. I'm afraid you are a major suspect. Quickly take off your cloak, or else you will be executed immediately. This is too much. Mr. Yun is a martial artist recruited by the princess. How can you execute him just like that? Where do you think Her Highness is? Hu Qinghe was enraged. He. Xiao Han was anxious. He might as well throw caution to the wind. He knew that if he gave in and backed off now, he would definitely attract all kinds of suspicions. He might even be exposed. It was better to do the opposite. Who do you think you are? How dare you disturb the carriage of the princess? I will give you a chance now. Get off your horse immediately, kneel down and beg for the princess's forgiveness. Otherwise I will break your arms and legs. Xiao Han said sternly. Ha 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 ha. Heng and his subordinates burst into laughter as if they had heard the funniest joke in the world. It seems like you really want to die. Then I will fulfill your wish and send you on your way. Xiao Han let out a sinister laugh. Suddenly, a 15-feet-long hornless dragon rushed out from his body. With a roar, it froze the heaven and earth. It spat out a mouthful of icy cold air. In an instant, several physical body realm soldiers under Heng's command were frozen into ice dregs and shattered into pieces. Zhang Heng had never imagined that Xiao Han would attack without warning, and that he would be so ruthless. Moreover, he had opened 14 true acupoints in his body, which meant that he was an ordinary martial artist at the second level of the True Qi realm. Even if he was strong, he would not be as strong as the young genius Lu Feng from Mingjian Villa who was defeated by Xiao Han. Ah! In an instant, Heng was caught off guard. His left arm was frozen and he screamed in fear. The flood dragon horse beneath him had already been frozen into an ice sculpture. He staggered and fell off the horse. He knelt on the ground and shivered. In less than a breath's time, his jet-black hair was covered with frost and cold air was rising. And that's right. If you are willing to kneel down and beg for mercy, you can be spared from death. Xiao Han's tone was cold. Hu Qinghe and the others sucked in a breath of cold air and looked at Xiao Han in silence. They thought to themselves, this Mr. Yun is really a fierce person. It is probably the best for him to protect the princess and prevent her from being humiliated. Chapter 105. Xiao Han knew that the journey from the southern mountain range to the eastern mountain range was long and arduous. Wearing a black cloak, he was too eye-catching. It was impossible for him not to be interrogated by Nangong Yi. Cowering and hiding was not something that could be avoided. It was better to take a risk and fight poison with poison, giving people the impression that he was a wandering cultivator on the run. Therefore Xiao Han made his move. Filling his 9 true meridians with mysterious ice True Qi, he turned it into a hornless dragon and attacked the second-level True Qi Deputy General, Zhang Heng. Zhang Heng's skin was instantly covered with ice. His left arm was already frozen and trembling. Light surged around his body to resist this powerful icy soul-cold qi. What are you? You dare to attack the princess carriage? You should be beheaded. However, for General Nangong Ye's sake, I will only teach you a small lesson. I will teach you to behave yourself in the future. Xiao Han grinned hideously. Many of Hu Qinghe's and Princess Mo Hen's henchmen now felt happy and relieved, secretly applauding. They also knew that if they did not have a fierce character like Xiao Han, they would inevitably be troubled by Nangong Ye's side along the way. At this moment, boom, boom, boom. Pillars of fire fell from the sky. Fire boiled and lava blossomed. Countless fire crows flew in the sky. Nangong Yi seemed to have walked out of thin air. His eyes were filled with anger and a tsunami-like pressure covered Xiao Han, Hu Qinghe and the other bodyguards of the princess. General Nangong. Zhang Heng cried out in pain. Nangong Yi looked at Xiao Han fiercely with a murderous aura. A mere first-level true Qi cultivator who cultivates mysterious ice true Qi dares to be so fierce? Good, very good. The hornless dragon was under Nangong Ye's burning heaven true Qi. It continued to melt. Xiao Han's mind moved. The hornless dragon broke down into rays of ice and was absorbed into the true meridians. Looking up, the furious Nangong Yi operated 35 five-pointed star true meridians. They were like 35 blazing fireballs or 35 volcanoes. Like a raging fire, unstoppable. Nangong Yi, what are you trying to do? Hu Qinghe looked like he was ready to risk it all. The 30 pentagram true acupoints in his body glowed. It resisted Nangong Ye's heaven-burning pressure. General Nangong Yi, I've been betrothed by Her Highness the Princess. As the saying goes, one should take care of the king's worries and worries. This guy has no respect for his superiors. Since you offended your superiors and offended the princess, I will naturally teach you a lesson. What's wrong with that? Xiao Han said casually. In reality, Xiao Han had resisted most of the pressure released by Nangong Yi. His entire body was boiling as if he was about to combust. If it wasn't for the indestructible golden body swallowing the hot air continuously, Xiao Han would have already exploded. Nangong Yi is indeed a hero. His battle prowess was unparalleled, and he had the ability to instantly kill an ordinary Jinqi realm martial artist of the same level. Now that he had provoked him, things would not be good. However, I can only walk as I see fit, Xiao Han thought to himself. Injuring my subordinates is a heinous crime. Unforgivable. Nangong Ye's expression was cold. He slowly reached out with his right hand and condensed the great true Qi of the burning heaven into a furnace that was a few acres in size. The surface of the furnace was engraved with ancient inscriptions. The ancestors worshipped the fire god. At that moment, the blazing sun and the golden spears descended from the sky, trying to burn Xiao Han into ashes. You want to kill me? It's not that easy. The frost nightmare dragon once again rushed out of Xiao Han's body. It roared and continuously spat out icy soul frost. Suddenly, a crisp sound came from Xiao Han's body. It was the sound of a butterfly breaking out of a cocoon. It also sounded like an egg inside his body had cracked. Under the immense pressure from Nangong Yi, Xiao Han had actually opened the 10th acupoint and reached the peak of Jinqi Stage 1. At the same time, the few broken seals around the demon egg in Xiao Han's heart were triggered at the same time. They exploded into a dense cocoon of martial arts light. It was a spectacular sight. I have no choice but to fight. Once the acupoint was opened, Xiao Han's fighting spirit and fighting intent skyrocketed. He was about to forcibly burn his true Qi to increase his strength and fight with Nangong Yi with the dragon's face fury. The demon monarch palm tattoo on his left arm was ready. He could activate the innate demon technique of the North Profound Demon Emperor's crystal at any time. However, once he used it, Xiao Han's secret would be exposed. He would instantly become the target of everyone and be chased endlessly. At that moment, General Nangong Yi, Princess Mo Hen's voice sounded. She slowly lifted the brocade curtain and gracefully stepped out. She looked up at Nangong Yi in the void. General, are you going to bully Mo Hen the moment she left the imperial city? Mr. Yun protected Mo Hen and fought with the general's subordinates. Is it wrong for Mr. Yun to protect Mo Hen? Nangong Yi's eyes were deeply focused on Princess Mo Hen's otherworldly appearance and alluring figure. His eyes flashed with a touch of lust and he immediately sneered. I did not deliberately make things difficult for Her Highness. It is a long journey to the Eastern Domain. It is difficult to guarantee that nothing will go wrong. I was entrusted by the Emperor to protect the princess, so I naturally have to be careful. Her Highness, the rogue cultivator you recruited is really a desperate man. I am afraid that he will harm Her Highness, because I will eradicate him for Her Highness, to avoid future troubles. General Nangong Yi, Mr. Yun will not hurt Mo Hen. I ask Mr. Nangong Yi not to speculate, Mo Hen said coldly. Nangong Yi, let's mind our own business. Mr. Yun was hired by the princess. It is not your turn to intervene and deal with him. If Mr. Yun is wrong, the princess will naturally rule. Hu Qinghe was furious. Princess Mo Hen's henchmen were also dissatisfied with the princess's marriage. Obviously, Princess Mo Hen's henchmen were dissatisfied with the princess's marriage. Now Nangong Ye's strength directly caused the henchmen to rebel. It completely aroused public indignation. The atmosphere became tense. The welcoming team suddenly stagnated. It was a mess. Nangong Yi took a deep look at Mo Hen, and his eyes flashed with endless ridicule. Alright, Your Highness, I'll let it go this time. However, you need to control the loose cultivator you recruit. Next time he will not be so lucky. Nangong Yi fiercely glanced at Xiao Han. She wrapped around him and left with Zhang Heng. Mr. Yun, thank you for protecting Mo Hen just now. Princess Mo Hen said to Xiao Han. It's nothing. Xiao Han smiled faintly. Damn it, this Nangong Yi will not let it go. On the way he will find a chance to kill me. But I, Xiao Han, am not a person who will stretch my neck to be killed. Xiao Han stuck out his tongue and licked his lips. Then he calmly took out a few pieces of true Qi spirit stones from his storage ring. Put them into the true acupoints, decomposed and absorbed. This time Xiao Han had already stuffed 2 storage rings full of true Qi spirit stones, which could replenish his true Qi at any time. I need to hurry and improve my strength. Otherwise, I will be in danger of dying at any moment. At the same time, Xiao Han's mind completely calmed down. He silently visualized the peak of the first stage of true Qi. The martial arts light cocoon was triggered from the broken seal. The 41st to 50th movement of the indestructible golden body. The 5th movement of the Son of Heaven's fist. Death of the monarch. The 3rd movement of the 7-fragment blade technique. Fragmented intent. However, the 4th seal that was broken, the seal that had traces of the 9 revolutions divine art, did not trigger the 2nd revolution of the 9 revolutions divine art. Xiao Han knew that he was in a precarious situation. He immediately concentrated on visualizing and cultivating. At this time the welcoming team entered the forest. Looking from afar one could see a mountain range that looked like a jade dragon. Clouds were steaming and the air was misty. It was like a paradise of immortals. This is the Purity Mountain Range. Hu Qinghe introduced to a true Qi realm guard beside him, one of the top 5 sects of our Beacon Fire Empire. This was the place where the sect was established. This purity sect has stood for 10,000 years and has produced countless heroes. It is no small matter. Xiao Han's body trembled slightly. He stared at the Purity Mountain Range and muttered in his heart. Purity sect. I, Xiao Han, am fleeing this time because I don't want the sect to be surrounded and harassed by various forces. But one day I, Xiao Han, will come back alive. Purity sect. Palace. Sect master. Today, a princess of Beacon Fire Empire is getting married and is passing through the Purity Mountain Range. The one escorting the princess is a hero of the imperial family, Nangong Yi. Dong Fangqin reported to the sect master. The sect master put his hands behind his back and stood at the peak of the mountain. His clothes fluttered in the wind as he stared into the distance. Suddenly, the corner of his mouth pulled into an elegant smile and said indifferently, "What does the emperor marrying off his daughter have to do with us?" "Yes, sect master." Dong Fangqin hesitated for a moment before replying. "Sect master, there is still no news of junior brother Xiao Han. I can confirm that he is still alive," the sect master said mysteriously. At the front of the welcoming team, Nangong Ye's face was filled with hostility as he rode on his strange beast. Behind Nangong Yi, a few deputy generals had murderous looks on their faces. Zhang Heng's left arm was already shattered and his face was pale. His eyes were filled with hatred and resentment as he gnashed his teeth and said, "General Nangong, I beg you to uphold justice for me and kill that evil Jianghu guest." "We just left the imperial city and you want me to start a massacre? Kill all of Princess Mo Hen's servants?" Nangong Yi said unhappily. "No, that's not what I mean. However, I will not rest until that evil man is dead," Zhang Heng said with deep hatred. "Zhang Heng, don't worry. That guy will die without a complete corpse." Nangong Ye's mouth slightly twitched. "There is still a long way to go to the eastern region. I can make my move at any time. Zhang Heng, you don't have to rush. You should at least leave the Beacon Fire Empire's territory before making your move. I can kill all the trash around the princess like slaughtering pigs and dogs." His heart was filled with endless lust and he thought, even Princess Mo Hen can be killed. However, before I kill her. Nangong Ye's eyes were filled with lust and filthy thoughts. General Nangong, after injuring Zhang Heng, That evil man is covered in a black cloak and doesn't dare to show his face, another deputy general said doubtfully. General, is that evil man related to the youth of the Cloud sect, Xiao Han, who is wanted by the entire country recently? That's impossible, Nangong Yi said without hesitation. It said that the youth Xiao Han cultivates the spirit turtle true qi. He had a fortuitous encounter and was imbued with it. However, that independent cultivator cultivates the ice attribute cultivation method, which is clearly different from the spirit turtle true qi. It's impossible for regular cultivators to cultivate two true qi cultivation methods of completely different attributes. Otherwise, their bodies will explode and they will die without a complete corpse. Moreover, if that independent cultivator was Xiao Han, would he dare to cause trouble? Wouldn't that be suicide? Yes, General is right. The deputy generals nodded. Alright, let's hurry. Nangong Yi looked at the direction of the Cloud sect and the Cloud Palace in fear. There's a great figure in the Cloud sect spying on us. Makes me feel uneasy. There's no need to worry, General. The Cloud sect doesn't dare to provoke the imperial family. Although the Cloud sect is one of the 5 great sects in the empire, it's much weaker than the imperial family, one of the deputy generals said boldly. Idiot. Nangong Yi cursed. If you knew the ranking of the current sect master of the Cloud sect on the demon ranking, you wouldn't say such ignorant things. Whatever, you won't understand the world of the demon ranking and the world of the strong. Let's hurry. Chapter 106. The escort team meandered towards the east. They traveled for 5 days. They finally left the Fire Beacon Empire and arrived at an uninhabited wilderness. This was the border between the Fire Beacon Empire and the Blazing Sun Empire, a buffer zone. The mountains were fertile, dotted with a few scattered villages. The mountains were tall and the forests were dense. Clear streams flowed through, withered vines accompanied old trees, and wild beasts roamed about. In these 5 days of traveling, Princess Mo Hen's retainers and Nangong Ye's army lived in harmony. Well water did not interfere with river water. But in the peace, danger was brewing. It was like the eve of a storm. In these few days, Xiao Han only focused on cultivating and kept a low profile. He even hid in a large carriage and was completely alone. However, in these days Xiao Han discovered that several groups of true Qi realm martial artists had come to investigate. Fortunately, Nangong Yi dealt with them. And Xiao Han's disguise was very good. There were no flaws to be found. In a large carriage, black curtains blocked the light, causing Xiao Han to be in complete darkness. Xiao Han sat cross-legged, silently circulating his Shen Qi. At this time, every pore on Xiao Han's body was flashing with golden light. Below his skin, there was a surging sound like a tide. His eyelids lifted slightly, and his eyes emitted the feeling of a blazing sun. Repeatedly visualizing the 41st to 50th movement of the indestructible golden body has greatly nourished my flesh. Moreover, the more I practice this indestructible golden body, the more mystical it becomes. Xiao Han's thoughts flashed. The 41st to 50th movements of the indestructible golden body are much more complicated and profound than the previous 40 movements. There are many obstacles when visualizing them. However, once I've mastered them, the bones in my body actually show signs of transforming into golden bones. Xiao Han looked inside himself. He discovered that the flawless bones in his body that seemed to be carved out of white jade were actually glowing with a golden color. It was as if they were plated with a layer of golden powder, shining brightly. Moreover, on the surface of the golden bones, there were some indistinct bone runes. Every time he visualized the movements of the indestructible golden body, the golden color of the bones became a bit deeper and the bone runes became a bit deeper. Now, the 100 movements of the indestructible golden body have been practiced halfway. Even the bones are gradually changing. Those bone runes. I can vaguely understand what's so special about it. When the flesh shell is attacked by the enemy, it directly absorbs a portion of the enemy's strength and transforms it into its own flesh shell strength. Xiao Han nodded slightly. Senior brother Fong once said that it was impossible for a mortal's body to possess too much power, or it would explode. For most people, a few hundred cauldrons of force was their limit when tempering their physical body. There would be no more breakthroughs. At that time he would try to break through the acupoints and cultivate his true qi. However, I have refined the indestructible golden body to this place. His flesh shell already far exceeded that of an ordinary person, comparable to a savage beast. His bones turned golden, producing profound and mystical bone texts. Breaking the shackles would allow his body to be tempered into an even more tyrannical strength. Don't worry about your body exploding. Wung, golden bone runes appeared one after another. Under Xiao Han's will, it appeared on his skin, overflowing with light and vibrant colors. It was dazzling and had an ancient feel to it, making Xiao Han look like an ancient golden god. It was no small matter. From now on, as long as I persevere in cultivating the indestructible golden body and activate the golden bone runes when I'm attacked by the enemy, the strength of my physical body would increase without end. Of course, if I were to bear too much power all at once, I would also turn into ashes. Son of Heaven's Divine Fist, 5th form, Monarch wants your minister to die. Son of Heaven's Divine Fist, emphasis on momentum and not on technique. This move, Monarch wants your minister to die, is also a kind of momentum. It is a kind of tyrannical momentum that looks down on the world. The essence of this move is that a punch will greatly weaken the opponent's defense. It will disintegrate the opponent's fighting spirit and even cause the opponent to hallucinate. If the monarch wants his minister to die, the minister has no choice but to die. As for the 7-fragment saber art's 3rd form, intent shattering form, it is a little difficult to comprehend. This form can only be practiced by a saber user who has comprehended the saber intent. Moreover, this form is not simple. It is a saber intent that shatters oneself. It has a kind of concept from having a saber to not having a saber. When the saber intent shatters and is reborn, what will be born? Xiao Han was temporarily unable to comprehend the intent shattering form. Moreover, being in this state, he did not dare to reveal any traces of being a saber user. He also did not dare to release his saber intent and shatter the saber intent. I have already grasped the doorway to the first 50 moves of the indestructible golden body and the 5th form of the Son of Heaven's Divine Fist. Monarch wants your minister to die. However, the intent shattering form still requires a period of time to slowly comprehend. One step at a time, haste makes waste. In addition, my true chi cultivation has already reached the peak of the 1st level and opened 10 meridians. Right now, I need to work hard to open the 11th true meridian and reach the 2nd level of true chi. However, the 11th true meridian is a bottleneck. It cannot be easily opened. However, once it is opened, it will be a great path. Xiao Han opened the curtain and jumped out of the carriage. He turned around and mounted a dragon horse, still wearing a black cloak. Mr. Yun, we are currently at the border between the Beacon Fire Empire and the Blazing Sun Empire. In a few days, we will be able to enter the territory of the Blazing Sun Empire. Hu Qinghe smiled and said to Xiao Han. Xiao Han had risked his life to stand up for Princess Mo Hen, injuring Nangong Ye's Deputy General Zhang Heng. This caused all of Princess Mo Hen's retainers to admire Xiao Han. Now they completely regarded Xiao Han as one of their own. The Blazing Sun Empire? Xiao Han was surprised. Yes, the Blazing Sun Empire, one of the 7 great empires of the southern domain. It has a population of over 20 billion, and its national strength is several times greater than the Beacon Fire Empire. Hu Qinghe said in a low voice. Mr. Yun, although this old man is not a fiend hero, I have heard that the number of fiends in the Blazing Sun Empire is several times that of the Beacon Fire Empire. According to ancient legends, below the group of immortals are the fiends, and below the fiends are all living beings. Although this old man has never seen an immortal, and does not know if there are any immortals in this world who cannot die, the fiends are indeed the most tyrannical existences in the Zhenwu continent. To put it simply, how to evaluate the strength of a sect or even a country, is to look at the number of fiends in that sect or country. Yes, Senior Hu, the Blazing Sun Empire has many fiends, right? Xiao Han said with a smile. Yes, not only are there a lot of them, but there are also many outstanding fiends. For example, the famous Great Sun Emperor, Dragon Bone Saint Blade, One-Page Golden Book, and so on. All of them are supreme experts who dominate a region. Killing the fiends is as easy as drinking water and eating rice. Hu Qinghe said with a face full of admiration. Then, he pouted at the front of the group with an indignant expression and said in a low voice. Although Nangong Yi is also a fiend, he is a second-rate fiend. He only knows how to act like a tyrant in a small place like the Beacon Fire Empire. He is not even ranked on the fiend hero ranking. The Great Sun Emperor and the Dragon Bone Saint Blade are in the Blazing Sun Empire. Xiao Han's heart twitched slightly. These were all invincible figures who swore to kill Xiao Han. Xiao Han had seen the Great Sun Emperor once in the Western Domain. Later on, he had seen him a second time in the Setting Sun Mountain Range when they surrounded the North Mystic Demon Emperor and fought against Demon Emperor Qing Lin. He was indeed a supreme expert with the dignity of a god. His combat power surpassed that of Senior Brother Fang Ling and Senior Brother Dong Fang Qin. Mr. Yun, there's no need to worry. Although the Blazing Sun Empire is powerful and prosperous, it's not to the extent of making it difficult for Her Highness Princess Mo Hen's wedding procession. When Hu Qinghe heard Xiao Han's tone change, he promptly consoled him. The long, snake-like welcoming team arrived at a mountain range in the distance. Dozens of sneaky men were crouching on a hill. Holding his breath and focusing his energy, he stared fixedly at the welcoming party. His eyes were filled with greed and passion. Brothers, it's the wedding procession of the Beacon Fire Empire's princess. TSK, even from 100 miles away I can still feel the pure waves of true qi. It was a top-grade true qi spirit stone. A top-grade true qi spirit stone without any impurities. A bearded man swallowed his saliva. Another pointy-faced man pointed with his finger. According to my experience, there are at least 10 large chariots. It's filled with high-quality true qi spirit stones. It was a woman in her 30s. She was extremely beautiful and charming, but she had a pair of triangular eyes. It was very unappetizing. The marriage of the Beacon Fire Empire's princess is naturally grand. The dowry is frighteningly plentiful. Another short man with an extremely valiant expression said. The Beacon Fire Empire has been in the southern region for countless years. Their foundation is more abundant than many large sections. Wouldn't it be a great loss of face if the dowry of the princess is not enough? Apart from the top-grade true qi spirit stones, the other dowry also makes people envious. Medicinal herbs, jewelry, pills, which one of them isn't priceless? TSK? Look at those servant girls. Each of them is so beautiful. Wow. I'm afraid those servant girls are not even 16 years old. They're so tender. I'm dying of greed. A white-clothed young man's eyes glowed with golden light as he swallowed his saliva. There's no need to say anything about the princess. She must be as beautiful as a fairy. Otherwise, let's do it. I don't want spirit stones, medicinal herbs, or pills. I only want the princess and those beautiful little servant girls. Deshimao, shut up. Don't stop when you see a woman. The news of the Beacon Fire Empire's princess marrying far away had spread like wildfire in the southern region. How many people were eyeing the princess dowry? But who would dare to do it? Let me tell you, the one escorting the princess this time is a hero from the Beacon Fire Empire's imperial family, Nangong Yi. This person cultivates the grand true energy of burning heaven and is extremely powerful. With a wave of his hand he can burn mountains and boil seas. You can't afford to offend him, otherwise you won't even know how you died. An old man glared at them. He is at the true qi realm. We are also at the true qi realm. We don't have to be afraid of him. That Nangong Yi is only at the 4th level of true qi. Even though our cultivation is slightly weaker, if we attack together we might not lose to him. The triangular-eyed girl mumbled. So many top-grade true qi spirit stones and pills are enough for us to cultivate for years. What we, the rogue cultivators of the Jianghu, lack is true energy spiritual stones. Third Lady Gongsun, I think you have been blinded by lard. Below the group of immortals is the demon hero, and below the demon hero are all living beings. They are all at the true qi realm, but the strongest demon hero can instantly kill those at the same level. The old man said in a deep voice. Do you know what a demon hero is? You've never seen one before, right? Let me tell you, every fiend hero is selected from the top figures in the realm of true qi. They are bloodthirsty and full of battle intent. They are all geniuses. Even when facing the demon race, the demon hero can fight without batting an eyelid. Can you do that? Yes, I heard that the demon hero cultivates the strongest true qi. They can go to ancient countries, secret realms, and search for treasures that ordinary martial artists are not qualified to enter. Moreover, the mortality rate of the demon hero trials is very high. Those who survive and become demon heroes are all top figures. I think we shouldn't have any crooked ideas. True qi spirit stones and pills may be good, but we need to be alive to enjoy them. The short man with a fierce expression sighed helplessly. No. We are the top bandits in the entire southern mountain range. Even the armies of some middle-sized countries turn pale at the mention of us and flee at the sight of us. Now that we see a fat sheep passing by us, we can't just stand by and do nothing. The bearded man said fiercely. The man in white, Deshimao, also pounded his chest and stamped his feet. No. I must have sex with Her Royal Highness. We can be husband and wife. Then my life will not be in vain. Even if I can't get Her Royal Highness. It will be great to get a few pretty maids to play with. I have never played with a beauty in the palace in my life. How dare you? Deshimao, you are so lustful. You should restrain yourself. Didn't you kidnap a princess of the Prairie Fire Nation and ravaged her for 7 days and 7 nights before you let it go? The old man scolded. The Prairie Fire Nation is just a small country in the southern mountain range. It can't be compared to a giant like the Beacon Fire Empire. The princess of the Prairie Fire Nation is in the Beacon Fire Empire. At most, she is the daughter of a rich family. She is not even fit to carry the shoes of the princess of the Beacon Fire Empire. De Shimao said anxiously. All right. The first master will make the decision. The old man waved his hand. The first master participated in the demon hero trials. Although he did not become a demon hero in the end, he survived. To be able to survive the cruel demon hero trials. That is something to be proud of. Yes. The first master was also a talented genius back then. He may not be afraid of Nangong Yi. As long as we eat this fat sheep, we won't have to do business for a few years. Princess Mo Hen's escort team. At the front. Nangong Ye's lips curled into a mocking and disdainful sneer. He rode on his strange beast. A few true Qi realm generals came over on their horses. General Nangong, I can feel it. There seems to be someone spying on us in this barren mountain range. A third-level true Qi realm general said in a low voice. In this world there are always some very stupid people. Nangong Yi raised his eyebrows. This is the border between the Beacon Fire Empire and the Blazing Sun Empire. I have long heard that there are some bandit groups lying in wait here. However, their existence can act as a buffer between the Beacon Fire Empire and the Blazing Sun Empire. That is why the two empires have not sent troops to eliminate them. As he spoke, Nangong Ye's eyes narrowed. When he opened his eyes, they shone with a bloodthirsty and violent fighting spirit. It is too monotonous and boring to travel like this. I need something to relieve my boredom. Bandits? Although killing bandits is not as satisfying as killing demons, but I like the pleasant sound when I burn my enemies. After saying this, Nangong Yi showed an indescribable excitement and eagerness. His expression was extremely ferocious. If those bandits don't dare to attack, then so be it. But if they do, I will torture and kill them all. A few of the generals showed slight fear in their eyes. They thought to themselves, General Nangong is indeed a demon hero. He is completely fearless in the face of danger. He even wants the enemy to attack. He is too murderous. One of the generals was a little cautious and smiled awkwardly. General Nangong, I wonder if there is a demon hero among the bandits. If there is, then it will be a little troublesome. Ha 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 ha. Nangong Yi laughed. How can a demon hero become a bandit? The so-called mountain bandits were all unorthodox loose cultivators of the Jianghu and dregs who had betrayed their sections. The most outstanding among them might be able to step into the realm of Jinqi, but the Jinqi cultivation methods they cultivated were all trash. I can torture and kill hundreds of bandits of the same level with just one hand. After a burst of laughter, Nangong Yi looked towards Princess Mo Hen's carriage and said in a barely audible voice, Your Highness, live a few more days. Once we leave the Blazing Sun Empire, I will let you die in endless happiness. I will let you have a taste of being a woman before you die. Ah. In this vast wilderness area, in the middle of the mountains, an extremely well-hidden stronghold was built on top of a canyon. The terrain was dangerous, easy to defend and hard to attack. Thousands of physical body realm martial artists guarded every corner of the stronghold. In the stronghold, there were also hundreds of strong dragon horses. In the center of the stronghold, there was a wooden pavilion. Inside the pavilion, there was a dazzling array of jewels and jadeite stones. On the wooden shelves, there were all kinds of pills and small bottles. A few large chests emitted true Qi waves. It was obvious that they were filled with true Qi spirit stones. A bald man was sitting on a large chair made of animal skin, like a crouching tiger or a coiled dragon. This bald man was missing an eye. His remaining eye emitted a cold light like that of a primordial python, sinister and cunning. The true Qi in his body surged like a great river. From the true acupoints in his body, a sparkling river rushed out. A giant true Qi python floated up and down in the river. The snake's eyes were like copper bells, quietly observing the surroundings. A middle-aged man dressed like a scholar said with a smile, First Master, the Beacon Fire Empire's princess has appeared in this wasteland. In about 3 days they will enter the Blazing Sun Empire's territory. There were sword Qi waves on his body. The air around his body twisted and rippled. Yes, the Beacon Fire Empire, that is a colossus. The bald man's voice was extremely hoarse, like the noise of a crow. Yes, the one escorting the princess this time is a demon hero, Nangong Yi. First Master, you have participated in the Demon Hero Selection competition before. You should know the battle strength of a demon hero. This time, I'm afraid we can only watch as the fat sheep slip away. The scholar shook his head with slight regret. Although there are more than 10 brothers in the true Chi realm in the stronghold, to put it bluntly, they are just a motley crew. If they encounter a demon hero, they will be instantly killed. Demon Hero Selection Competition. The bald man's only eye suddenly revealed an expression of fear and lingering fear. The corner of his eye twitched crazily. Yes, I have participated in the Demon Hero Selection Competition. It was really difficult. I almost lost my life and was consigned to eternal damnation. This eye of mine was destroyed in that terrifying selection competition. However, the princess's dowry? I'm very interested in it. What I am more interested in is that demon hero. The bald man stuck out his extremely long tongue and swept his lower lip. His only eye emitted a gloomy light, revealing endless greed and selflessness. First Master, you covet the demon hero. What kind of logic is this? The scholar was uncertain. The bald man burst into laughter. He patted the position of one of the true acupuncture points on his body. You are really too stupid. Do you think that the most precious wealth in the princess's wedding procession is the dowry? Let me tell you, every demon hero is a huge treasure trove. As long as the demon hero is killed, countless secret treasures will burst out from their true acupuncture points. There is even a possibility of obtaining a peerless secret technique. Of course, this matter cannot be done by force. I will think of a small way. P.S. Today, I originally planned to update about 3 chapters with 3,000 words per page. However, I encountered some matters in the afternoon and didn't have time to write. Therefore, I can only continue to update 2 chapters. The second chapter has 5,000 words. From tomorrow onwards, I will strive to maintain 3,000 words per page and strive to update 3 times. Work hard. Give me a few monthly tickets. Chapter 107. When the scholar suddenly heard that the bald First Master actually wanted to take advantage of a demon hero, his face instantly turned yellow. He stammered, "Big First Master, a demon hero? Demon hero really has such a considerable amount of wealth?" "Well, you're not a hero, so there are many things you don't understand." The one-eyed man's face glowed. "When I was young, I made a great wish to become a swordsman. Do you really think I want to eradicate the demon clan? Bullshit. Let me tell you, this world is very, very big. Other than the north, south, east, west and middle regions, there are also endless mysterious and vast territories. There are all kinds of mystic realms, ancient countries, historical remains and countless natural treasures, opportunities and karmic luck. There was even a legend that an immortal's abode was left behind in this mountain and river. However, ordinary martial artists were not qualified to enter these areas. Unless it was the evil hero. The life of the evil hero is full of legends. Endless battles with the demon clan, adventures, treasure hunting, and success. I can responsibly say that every evil hero's true cave must have stored an unimaginable amount of wealth. So that's how it is. But great. Great leader, if you recklessly make a move against a demon hero, if you don't have full confidence, I'm afraid you'll invite a calamity of death. The scholar's face was already filled with horror and fear. He had seen the devil hero fight with his own eyes. That kind of efficient and deadly fighting style, and the rock-steady mind were fresh in his memory. Men die for wealth and birds die for food. No matter what, we have to take a gamble this time. The one-eyed man said evilly. Lead the princess wedding procession to that ghost town. What? That dead city? That dead city at the border of the Blazing Sun Empire? The scholar's face revealed an incomparably terrified expression. Leader, that ghost town has demon chi, and it seems like there's an almighty demon being sealed there. For so many years, even the demon heroes of the Blazing Sun Empire didn't dare to rashly step into that place. Baldy's deceitful eye was brewing a shocking plan. That city. 10 years ago, it was an extremely prosperous border trading city. It had a dense population and all kinds of businesses were thriving. However, the demon race had stirred up trouble, and in one night, it had become a ghost town. Later on, a powerful hero entered the ghost town alone and sealed the demon race. That's right. In the Blazing Sun Empire, there was once a time when it caused a great uproar, but in recent years, it has long since died down and no one is interested in it. The scholar continued. First Master, this subordinate doesn't understand. Since the demon race has already been sealed, why hasn't the Blazing Sun Empire rebuilt that trade city? Hahaha. That's because the vitality of the sealed demon race hasn't been completely extinguished. The muscles at the corner of the bald one-eyed man's eyes twitched crazily as if he was recalling an extremely frightening matter. I once went to that dead city to investigate. It was already in ruins. A high-level demon was nailed to the square in the city by a powerful demon hero with a bone arrow, which almost completely destroyed its vitality. But nothing was absolute in this world. Perhaps because that demon was too powerful, there was still a breath of demonic chi left, and it seemed to be brewing and struggling all this time. He wanted to break the seal on the bone arrow. Last month, I went to the ghost town again and discovered that the bone arrow was sealed. It's already starting to loosen. That demon might break free at any time. Then, this subordinate is even more confused. The scholar was doubtful. That powerful hero at that time. Why didn't he completely kill that demon race? Moreover, since the first master also noticed that there was still a breath of demonic chi left in that demon and it was constantly struggling for its life, then other observant people must have also noticed this point. Why didn't the Blazing Sun Empire send a demon hero to directly cut the weeds and eliminate the roots? To eliminate that demon race? The bald one-eyed man pondered for a few breaths before he knocked on the armrest of the chair and said, I also don't know about these matters. But according to my analysis, that powerful hero must have spent a lot of effort to seal it with a single arrow. Perhaps he didn't have the strength to kill that demon race at that time. As for the Blazing Sun Empire and the other demon heroes, why didn't they enter the ghost town afterwards and completely eliminate the weeds and the roots? Perhaps they didn't dare to. They had a very deep fear. Didn't dare? The scholar wasn't an idiot. He rolled his eyes and understood. First Master, what you mean is that the demon race was sealed by the demon hero with a single arrow. Whether it was dead or alive, it had already become the prey of that powerful hero. If the other demon heroes rashly interfered, it would be tantamount to provoking that demon hero. Perhaps that's what you mean. The bald one-eyed man nodded slightly. The scholar drew in a breath of cold air. This is simply too domineering. Great Master, the Blazing Sun Empire has the Great Sun Son of Heaven and the Dragon Bone Saint Blade, but they were actually intimidated by a single bone arrow and didn't dare to act blindly without thinking. Then, how strong is the hero who shot the arrow of sealing? Yes, I don't know either. In short, he should be slightly stronger than the Great Sun Emperor and the Dragon Bone Saint Blade. Otherwise, the Great Sun Emperor and the others would have already entered the ghost town and removed the sealed bone arrow. The one-eyed bald man waved his hand. However, these are not important to our plan. The most important thing is that the sealed demon race will most likely break free from the seal soon. Then, as long as we lure Nangong Yi into the ghost town, perhaps there will be a good show to watch. First Master, you mean to use the demon race that is trying to break free from the seal to fight against Nangong Yi first? After that, we will take advantage of the situation and reap the benefits? The scholar's eyes slightly brightened. First Master, this is also a good idea. Nangong Yi is a demon hero who loves to kill demons. Seeing that the great demon's seal is about to be broken, he might not be able to control himself and make a move. Although I don't know the level of that great demon, if we bring its corpse to the demon hero pagoda, we might be able to exchange it for a supreme treasure. Nangong Yi is the demon hero of the Beacon Fire Empire. He doesn't know much about the ghost town. Let's see if he dares to make a move. The best case scenario would be when Nangong Yi enters the ghost town and the great demon breaks the seal on its own. That would be wonderful. Ah! The one-eyed bald man burst into laughter. His laughter was bone-chilling. But, First Master, that demon race has been sealed for 10 years and its life force has withered. Even if it could break free from the seal, it would be on the verge of death. I'm afraid it wouldn't be enough to pose a threat to Nangong Yi, right? The scholar rolled his eyes and said, that demon still has the strength to fight. Its demonic chi is extremely terrifying. The one-eyed bald man's facial muscles twitched. Every time I go to the ghost town, I would be attacked by the demonic chi and be scared to death. Although that demon only has one breath of demonic chi left, it is still able to fight against a low-stage true chi realm human. It's hard for me to imagine. At its peak, it must be an extremely terrifying existence. Perhaps, it could turn mountains and rivers into powder with just a single thought. There are a total of 3 paths to enter the Blazing Sun Empire. Listen to my command and let the brothers start working. Burn the Yellow Springs poison smoke on the other 2 paths and leave the path of the ghost town to Nangong Yi. We will follow the tale. Wait for an opportunity to act. The one-eyed bald man made his decision. Don't worry. Once this is done, there will be no lack of benefits for our brothers. The rich dowry, the endless top-grade true chi spirit stones, and the great treasure that Nangong Yi brought with him. Do it. The scholar clenched his teeth. Yes. First Master. Do it. This subordinate will immediately order the brothers to prepare sufficient Yellow Springs poison smoke. Princess Emohen's escort team. Xiao Han was wearing a black cloak and riding a flood dragon horse. He was slowly moving to the left of the princess's carriage. These days I have been trying to break through the 11th true meridian. I can probably feel the throbbing of the 11th true meridian, but I still need some time to accumulate and have an opportunity to break through. He couldn't be too hasty in this matter. Moreover, I have sealed my blade intent and won't be exposed in the slightest. As a result, I don't have enough strength to break through the true meridian. If I can use my blade intent as I please, if I use the power of the void to forcefully break open the true meridian, I'm afraid it will take twice the effort for half the result. Xiao Han silently thought. Moreover, after continuously visualizing the first 50 movements of the indestructible golden body, Xiao Han's body was full of vitality, and the strength of his flesh shell was increasing day by day. The bones in his body glowed with a golden light, and the bone texts emitted a strange light. With the strength of my flesh shell and the addition of bone texts, I'm afraid I can use my body to block ordinary true chi attacks. Xiao Han nodded to himself. Mr. Yun. Hu Qinghe rode to Xiao Han's side and took out a map. We are about to enter the territory of the Proud Sun Empire. Xiao Han nodded slightly. He also looked at the map. Mr. Yun, please take a look. There are 3 paths to enter the Proud Sun Empire. 2 of them are mountain paths and the other path leads to a city. After passing through this city, you will reach the border of the Proud Sun Empire. After entering the Proud Sun Empire, if you do not stop and travel at full speed, you will reach the border of the Proud Sun Empire and the Flamescar Empire in 10 days at most. After passing through the Flamescar Empire, you will travel for a few days and pass through the territory of a few small countries. Then, you will completely leave the southern region and enter the eastern region. Hu Qinghe explained. Senior Hu, have you been to the eastern region? Xiao Han smiled and asked. Never been. This old man has never left the southern region in his life. Hu Qinghe slightly narrowed his eyes. For a martial artist of this old man's level, the southern region is very big. I will never be able to travel the entire southern region in my entire life. As for the eastern region, that is an extremely prosperous and civilized place. Their civilization is flourishing, and they view our southern region as barbarians. Sai, if Princess Emohen marries to the eastern region, I'm afraid she will suffer a lot of grievances. As he spoke, Hu Qinghe gave Xiao Han a meaningful glance. His eyes revealed traces of instigating and hinting. He said in a low voice. Mr. Yun, us family servants do not wish for Princess Emohen to marry to the eastern region. I wonder what Mr. Yun thinks about this? This old man has other intentions. I'm afraid he wants to escape with the princess. Xiao Han laughed in his heart. Then he said without batting an eyelid. Senior Hu, let's leave the southern region first. At the front of the escort team, Nangong Yi rode on a strange beast majestically. General Nangong, it seems that those bandits do not dare to make a move. They must be afraid of General Nangong's prestige. A deputy general said with a relaxed expression. Another deputy general also smiled and said, how could mere bandits dare to stop General Nangong Yi? General is a demon hero, the strongest among martial artists. He can instantly kill ordinary martial artists of the same level with just a thought. Those bandits are not idiots. Why would they be willing to dig their own graves? Ha ha ha. Several deputy generals laughed loudly as if they had been relieved of a heavy burden. They were only at the true chi realm. They were not as aggressive and battle-hungry as the demon heroes. It would be best if there were no complications along the way. General Nangong, we are about to enter the border of the Blazing Sun Empire. There are 3 paths. A deputy general took out a map. There are 2 mountain paths and a city. However, I have heard that this city was once haunted by the demon race. It is a ghost city and has been desolate for 10 years. Even now there is still a demon aura. I have heard of the ghost town before. It is said that there was a great demon that was stirring up trouble and wreaking havoc in the human world. However, it was sealed by an evil hero. Nangong Ye's eyes were glowing with a blazing and restless light. At this moment, report. A scout galloped over on a horse. General Nangong, there is a mountain path ahead that is burning with yellow poisonous smoke. It is a poison that can corrode true qi. It is called Yellow Springs poisonous smoke. It is thick and does not disperse. It has almost filled the entire mountain path. We cannot pass through. Report. Another scout galloped over to report. General Nangong, the mountain path to the west is filled with raging poisonous smoke. It is over 100 feet high and is extremely difficult to pass through. We must first clear the poisonous smoke before we can pass through. Report. General, there is a ghost city ahead. There is demon aura everywhere and no signs of life. General, this. Several deputy generals were stunned. Ah. Those bandits couldn't hold it in anymore. They want to lure me into the ghost city? Ah. The corner of Nangong Ye's mouth revealed a disdainful smile. So stupid, ah. As a demon hero, why would we be afraid of a ghost city that has been haunted by the demon race? General, why don't we use our true qi to completely clear the poisonous smoke on the two mountain paths? A deputy general carefully suggested. Why waste time and true qi? We will enter the ghost city directly. We will pass through the ghost city and enter the border of the Blazing Sun Empire. Nangong Yi waved his hand and declared heroically. General, this, enter the ghost city? Nangong Yi said sternly. If there are any demons hiding in the city, I will kill them all. Chapter 108. Princess Mo Hen's escort team, under the leadership of demon hero Nangong Yi, began to make a detour and advance towards a dead city at the border of the Proud Sun Empire. This was a city that was almost abandoned by the Proud Sun Empire. It was filled with demonic energy and evil. However, through this city, one could enter the boundless and beautiful territory of the Proud Sun Empire. It was the only way for Princess Mo Hen to marry in the East Domain. At this moment, Nangong Ye's true qi surged and divine light wrapped around his body. His expression was a mixture of excitement and gloominess. A few of the Jinchi realm deputy generals perked up, released their Jinchi and followed behind. In the middle of the team. Nangong Yi changed his route. Hu Qinghe looked at the map and said in confusion. He abandoned the two mountain paths and directly entered the border city? No matter. We will reach the Proud Sun Empire soon. If there is any sudden situation, Nangong Yi will naturally take care of it. Xiao Han shrugged his shoulders indifferently. Elder Hu, Mr. Yun, I have heard that this border city of the Proud Sun Empire is a bit strange. A true Qi realm guard suddenly said. Xiao Han and Hu Qinghe looked at the guard at the same time. It is said that this was once a rich and fertile city, an important trading place. However, 10 years ago the demon race caused trouble and it became a dead city in one night. It will no longer be rebuilt. The guard said cautiously. There is such a strange thing? Hu Qinghe's expression slightly changed. Everyone, no need to panic. Nangong Yi is a demon hero. Whether it is a dead city or a demon land, what does it have to do with us? Xiao Han smiled. For some reason, Xiao Han was becoming more and more fearless towards the demon race. Subconsciously, there was a desire to kill the demon race. That's right, if he didn't kill the demon race, the demon emperor tattoo on his left arm wouldn't be nourished. The life demon art of the North Profound Demon Emperor Crystal. If the movement was illusory, he wouldn't be able to display his peak strength. I hope there won't be any accidents. Hu Qinghe said worriedly. We just need to protect the princess. Xiao Han was even more certain. No. The team finally arrived at the dead city. It was indeed a flourishing city. The city walls that rose and fell like a mountain ridge, the wide moat, and the terrain that was like a crouching tiger and coiling dragon all told the world of its former glory and resplendence. But at this time, the water in the moat had already dried up, and a thick layer of moss had grown on the mottled city walls. What was even more frightening was that the entire city was deathly silent, as if it was a ghost town from the Nine Nether. Wisps of demonic qi shot up into the sky from the city. A large part of the clear sky was tainted with filth and filth. Dark clouds rose in all directions, and a demonic wind blew in the city, whistling like the wailing of ghosts and the howling of wolves. A terrifying aura spread out. In the team there were some maids and craftsmen who did not know martial arts. Their bodies trembled and their eyes were filled with fear. They did not dare to enter the city. Even the foreheads of the physical body realm martial artists were dripping with cold sweat. This city is filled with twisted demonic qi. Xiao Han closed his eyes. This is indeed demonic qi. Hu Qinghe licked his dry lips. Nangong Yi, what does he mean? He actually chose this path. Senior Hu, left bodyguard, protect the princess well. Don't move even half a step away. The demon egg in Xiao Han's heart began to spin. After breaking the fourth seal, Xiao Han's ability to sense demonic qi and demonic clan creatures had been greatly enhanced. It had increased by a large margin. He could vaguely sense that there might be living demons in the city. It was not as simple as a dead city. With that, Xiao Han urged his horse forward a few steps. At the front of the line. Such a strong demonic aura. The true qi in Nangong Ye's body made a slight sizzling sound as he read the demonic aura. The deputy generals exchanged glances with each other. They all looked as if they were facing a formidable enemy. General, are we really going to enter this ghost city? One of the deputy generals stammered. A bunch of idiots. Nangong Yi said disdainfully. According to my experience, I have killed many demon clan members. Although the demonic aura in this city was thick, it was impossible for a demon general level demon to be hiding there. Let's enter the city. Nangong Yi waved his hand, and the group surged into the ghost town. Cross the drawbridge. Enter the city. In the city. The sky suddenly turned dark. To be more precise, the demonic aura that had accumulated in the sky above the city all year round had formed a dark cloud that blocked the sunlight. The city was extremely cold, causing people to shiver in their bones. Boom, boom, boom. The true qi realm experts in the group all ignited their true qi, causing light to radiate in all directions, illuminating the dark environment and driving away the irritating cold. In the middle of the group, Xiao Han looked left and right. There was no living person in this city, not even a single animal or mouse. Many buildings had collapsed and turned into ruins. Under the decaying bricks and debris, human skeletons could occasionally be seen. Woo woo woo, waves of demonic wind swept across, sounding like the sobbing and whimpering of ghosts. Those delicate and pretty maids and craftsmen had pale faces. Most of them had closed their eyes and lowered their heads as they walked. Their shoulders were trembling non-stop. Damn it, bad luck. Hu Qinghe and the few true qi realm guards frowned and cursed. They released their true qi and enveloped Princess Mo Hen's carriage. This was a foolproof plan. In front, a little further ahead, there are signs of the demonic aura, very weak. Normal true qi realm martial artists would not be able to detect it, but it can't hide from the demonic egg in my heart. Xiao Han was very sure. He was already tensed up. The inextinguishable golden body in his body shone brilliantly, glistening brilliantly. Moreover, the demon emperor tattoo on his left arm was also trembling slightly. At the front of the group. Nangong Yi frowned deeply and muttered. So strange, there doesn't seem to be any living demonic aura in this city, but why is it filled with demonic aura all year round? They continued forward. Finally, the group arrived at the edge of a huge plaza in the center of the city. They stopped. Suddenly, Nangong Ye's pupils shrank and his scalp went numb as he stared at a stone pillar in the middle of the plaza. The few true qi realm generals behind him also widened their eyes and looked over without blinking. They saw that on the huge pillar that required several people to encircle, a human? It was a guy in ragged clothes of medium height. He was nailed to the stone pillar by a bone arrow that looked like white jade. Its head was drooping. Its thick black hair completely covered its face. Its hands were very long and withered. Each of its 10 fingernails was more than a foot long. They were sharp and flashed with a threatening cold light. Clouds of demonic aura rushed out from its body. It poured into the vault of heaven and covered the sun. It was so dense that it didn't disperse. General, that thing that was nailed to the stone pillar, doesn't seem to be, not a human, but a demon's corpse, in the entire city. The evil demonic aura is being emitted from this corpse. This ghost city was born 10 years ago, which means the demon corpse has been emitting demonic aura for 10 years. Even today the demonic aura is still so dense. It's so intense that even the wind can't disperse it. Then this demon must have been extremely terrifying when it was alive, too terrifying. One of the generals stuttered. The true qi in his body was a little unstable. General, that bone arrow. Another general said with a trembling voice. The bone arrow that was shot into the demon's body was white and flawless. It was emitting a bitter and ancient aura. Its entire body was extremely dazzling. There were countless light spots swimming around it. The clouds were steaming and the colors were overflowing. It was brilliant. It seemed to be an arrow made from the bone of some ancient beast. The bone arrow was engraved with some mysterious and profound talisman characters. The word treasure was emitting a divine light and carried an extremely powerful sealing power. Roars and roars of ancient beasts could be heard. Accompanied by chanting, the talisman characters engraved on the bone arrow were emitted. Solemn, immortal, indestructible, great, supreme being. These words. None of them could perfectly explain the power of the bone arrow. This bone arrow actually killed and sealed this demon with monstrous demonic aura. How powerful is it? One of the generals said in shock. This bone arrow contains a power that can make the mountains and rivers tremble. It was shot by the most powerful devil hero. I don't know who the owner of the bone arrow is. However, he must be the most powerful expert on the devil hero ranking. Who is he? Nangong Ye's eyes revealed an expression of searching his guts and guts. Suddenly his voice trembled. Could it be him? In the middle of the group. Such a powerful force. That bone arrow contained the mighty power to suppress the heavens. No wonder the demon heroes of the Blazing Sun Empire didn't dare to pull the arrow out after so many years. Hu Qinghe guarded the princess's carriage with all his might. The demon egg is spinning faster and faster. This represents the fluctuation of a demon's life. The supreme demon on the stone pillar is not a demon corpse, but it's alive. That demon seems to come back to life at any time. Xiao Han calmly urged his horse forward and approached the edge of the plaza. Outside the ghost town, hundreds of flood dragon horses stopped outside the city. There were also hundreds of strong mortal body realm martial artists riding ordinary horses behind the flood dragon horses. The one in the lead was the bald, one-eyed man. Streams of true energy rushed out of his head, and a snake head poked out. It flicked its forked tongue in and out, wantonly emitting a bone-chilling light. Behind the one-eyed man there was a scholar, a short man, a white-clothed man, Deshimao, and a triangular-eyed woman. All of them were like wolves and tigers waiting for something. Nangong Yi and the others have entered the city. The one-eyed man's voice was hoarse. I wonder if that supreme demon can break the seal. Leader, if that demon awakens and fights with Nangong Yi, then we will attack from behind and snatch the dowry and the princess. I can't wait anymore. The white-clothed man, Deshimao, rubbed his hands and said. At the ghost town plaza. Something's wrong. This demon doesn't seem to be completely dead. Nangong Yi finally found a clue. My true chi detected an extremely weak life fluctuation of the demon. What? It's still alive? Many of the deputy generals were terrified. At this moment, Wang. The bone arrow trembled. Moved. Unbelievable. It actually moved. A deputy general pointed at the right shoulder of the demon corpse. General, it moved. Woo, a demon wind blew. Its hair began to flutter in the wind. Ugh, a long and hoarse voice came from the demon corpse. No one could describe the evil and cruelty of this voice. Then the demon corpse moved. It raised its withered right hand. It raised it for a while, then softened. It raised it again, then drooped again. Finally, it raised its right hand and grabbed the bone arrow. It actually wanted to pull the bone arrow out. In an instant, the runes engraved on the bone arrow began to burn. Golden light shone brightly, and rays of light and auspicious chi soared into the sky. Clouds were steamed, and a loud divine voice was heard. Ah! The demon corpse let out a painful scream, as if it had suffered a great injury. Endless demonic clouds covered the sky. The demonic chi in the city was swallowed like a whale, and all rivers flowed into the demon corpse. Roar? A deep demon roar was heard. It was trying to pull the arrow out. Demon race, stop struggling on your deathbed. You must be the most powerful existence in the demon race. You might be a top-notch demon general or even a demon sovereign. The bone arrow did not kill you completely, so you've been trying to break free from it for the past 10 years. Unfortunately, you've stumbled into me, Nangong Yi. Die completely. Perish. Nangong Yi suddenly made his move. He reached out his right hand, and a true energy palm the size of a few acres hit the demon corpse. The true inferno chi was boiling, the light was like the sea, the true fire was like the tide, and the talisman was released. At this moment, buzz. A talisman enshrouded in demonic aura appeared in the air and imprinted itself onto Nangong Ye's palm made of chi, causing the palm, which was moving at a speed faster than the speed of sound, to freeze in mid-air, unable to advance any further. The next moment, PFFF. It finally pulled out the bone arrow that had been sealed for 10 years. Roar. A demon roar that was several times more violent than before burst out. The ground in all directions cracked, the houses collapsed, and the void was shaking. I finally broke free. This damn seal. It raised its head. It had a pair of eyes that emitted a monstrous demonic chi. It was a pair of dark green demonic eyes. Demonic runes were flickering in the eyes. "I'm going to eat you. I'm going to eat you," it roared. Chapter 109. The demon that had been sealed by the bone arrow for 10 years had finally broken free. It pulled out the bone arrow. It called itself an emperor, but it turned out to be a demon emperor. Demon emperors were the true powerhouses of the demon race. Every demon emperor needed countless demon heroes to surround them in order to have a chance of killing them. This demon emperor floated in the air, its black hair billowing in the demonic wind. Its dark green eyes were flashing with extremely evil demon runes. It had the sharp face of a middle-aged man and was so skinny that it looked like a bag of bones. Its high cheekbones gave off a very cold feeling. Its ferocious demonic energy engulfed the entire city. The sky darkened. Sand and pebbles flew everywhere. The sun and moon dimmed. Buzz, the demon emperor's body let out a demonic sound, and a crystal appeared in between its brows. It was a crystal that was as dazzling as an amber gem. It was extremely beautiful, flawless, and contained countless ancient demon runes and characters. It was describing the origin and civilization of the demon race. It was a demon emperor crystal. But it was full of spiderweb-like cracks, and some parts had even turned into powder. It was a demon emperor crystal that had been shattered. Demon emperor crystal. Xiao Han's eyes lit up. Instead of retreating, he quietly approached the plaza. After a very short moment of shock, Nangong Yi displayed the calmness and accomplishment of a devilish hero. The huge palm of genuine qi turned into flames and merged into his true acupoint. His whole body also floated up, and with a wave of his right hand, he signaled the deputy generals to lead the team back. So it's a demon sovereign who was sealed for 10 years by the most powerful demon hero with a bone arrow. Even the demon sovereign crystal was shattered by the arrow. Nangong Ye's expression became more and more calm, but the greed and fiery light in his eyes became more and more intense. He spoke with confidence. That day, the North Mystic Demon Emperor was severely injured and was trapped in the Sunset Mountains by the demon heroes of the Beacon Fire Empire. The North Mystic Demon Emperor's body was severely injured, but its Demon Emperor crystal was not shattered. But you, how pitiful. Nangong Yi laughed in high spirits. The Demon Emperor crystal is the most important part of a Demon Emperor's body. Even your Demon Emperor crystal was shattered and could not be repaired. What other power do you have? I, Nangong Yi, may be a demon hero, but I'm just a stepping stone. If I don't have heaven-defying luck in my life, I won't be able to survive. It's impossible for me to get the lowest ranking on the Hex ranking list, but I didn't expect that luck would come. Nangong Yi closed his eyes. Kill the Demon Emperor. To think that I, Nangong Yi, would one day kill a Demon Emperor. However, the only regretful thing is that your Demon Emperor crystal has already been shattered into powder, leaving less than 1/10 of its original value. Forget it. Even so, I, Nangong Yi, will never be able to fully enjoy it. Die in my hands. Boom. Nangong Yi's 35 five-pointed star true meridians emerged. Tens of thousands of streaks of light. The blazing sun was like fire, condensing into a several mu large furnace in midair, able to burn all things. It could refine everything. Xiao Han stared at the Demon Emperor crystal that had appeared between the Demon Emperor's eyebrows, and a hint of disappointment welled up in his heart. After the North Mystic Demon Emperor died, the Demon Emperor crystal that was left behind was intact. And this guy. A piece of Demon Emperor crystal had hundreds and thousands of cracks. A part of it had even been shattered into powder, and I don't know if it's still valuable. However, I will try everything I can to get this Demon Emperor crystal. When it fights with Nangong Yi, it'll be best if both of them are injured, and then... Human, you talk too much. I'm going to eat you. A true Qi realm martial artist can heal my injured body. The Demon Emperor let out a hoarse and cryptic voice. Its demonic aura was rising and its evil aura was radiating in all directions. Heaven-burning great true Qi. Sky-scorching cauldron. Nangong Yi suddenly took out his true Qi cauldron and suppressed the Demon Emperor. The cauldron was like a millstone, crushing the air and shrouding the Demon Emperor's head. It emitted a suction force, trying to pull the Demon Emperor into the cauldron and forcefully burn him into ashes. The Demon Emperor's hair and body exploded with sparks. Its body swayed unsteadily like a candle in the wind, and it could be sucked into the cauldron at any time and slowly refined. It was truly a dragon swimming in shallow waters. A dignified demon emperor was about to be refined to death by an unknown swordsman. At that moment, buzz! A demonic talisman appeared from the demon emperor crystal in between the demon emperor's brows. It was as big as an acre and directly imprinted on the cauldron. In an instant, the cauldron was sealed and froze in midair like a piece of scrap metal. Nangongyi was shocked. All of a sudden, bang! The demon emperor moved its body slightly and appeared in front of Nangongyi, throwing out a punch. This punch was like a falling star, collapsing the mountains and cracking the ground, crushing the rules. Puff! Nangongyi spat out a mouthful of blood, and his entire body was thrown back dozens of feet like a sandbag, smashing into a stone house. No one would have thought that a dying demon emperor, whose demon emperor crystal was shattered, would be able to unleash such a terrifying combat strength at the brink of death. A centipede dies but does not fall down. However, after sending Nangongyi flying, the demonic aura around its body thinned, and the demon emperor crystal in between its brows dimmed. It seemed like there was not much demonic energy left. Roar! The demon emperor let out a weak and painful growl. Suddenly, its dark green demonic eyes emitted a hint of surprise and excitement, and its aura locked onto Xiao Han as it growled in a low voice. "You, human, what do you have on you? This emperor is very interested in the things you have on you that can help this emperor recover his vitality. Reconstruct my peak demonic body. Come over here for this emperor." The demon emperor moved its body and moved towards Xiao Han. Xiao Han did not panic. He was already prepared to fight. However, Xiao Han's eyes slightly moved. He clamped his legs on the flood dragon horse. The flood dragon horse let out a long neigh and galloped out of the city. "You can't escape. You are still too weak." The demon emperor did not care about Nangongye's life or death, nor did it devour the others in the team. Its demonic body tore through the air, creating a wave of air and chased after Xiao Han. The other True Chi realm martial artists in the team saw that Nangongyi was injured, and they were all scared out of their wits. They stood rooted to the ground, dumbfounded. In the blink of an eye, Xiao Han had already galloped out of the city on his serpent horse. He galloped all the way to the far east of the city. The demon emperor chased after him like a maggot. He escaped to a wasteland outside the city. Roar! The demon emperor roared, and the serpent horse under Xiao Han's legs went limp. It foamed at the mouth and fell to the ground. At the same time, Xiao Han's body floated in the air. Xiao! The demon emperor's right claw clawed at Xiao Han. Puchi! It crushed Xiao Han's body. The demon emperor was startled. However, what was crushed was only Xiao Han's afterimage and mirror image. Illusory movement. Human. Why do you have demonic chi? You are emitting demonic chi. This is the North Mystic Demon Emperor's illusory movement. The demon emperor was completely dumbfounded. At this moment, Xiao Han was already standing 10 zhang away. On you. You really have the demon emperor's secrets and treasures. After eating you, I will definitely be able to repair the broken demon emperor crystal. The demon emperor walked towards Xiao Han step by step. It was already very weak, and the demon emperor crystal between its brows was broken and dim. Xiao Han did not say a word, but his body was surrounded by icy light. In an instant, a 5 zhang long hornless dragon rushed out from Xiao Han's body, breathing in and out the icy cold chi. The air was filled with ice crystals. Level 1 True Chi. With my injured body, I can barely handle it. The demon emperor's dark green eyes were filled with endless cruelty and cruelty. However, at this moment, boom! True Chi burst out from Xiao Han's body again. It was a True Chi that was completely different from the Black Ice Dragon True Chi. It was antique and as stable as a mountain. It was the Spirit Tortoise True Chi. In an instant, the Spirit Tortoise True Chi started to burn. The raging true fire wrapped around Xiao Han. The clouds were steaming. The power in Xiao Han's body kept on increasing. There was no end to it. Bang! Xiao Han took a step forward and the ground cracked and collapsed. Sinking. What? The demon emperor was shocked. Burn the Spirit Tortoise True Chi in 10 true meridians. The demon emperor was enraged. Increase my power by 10 times. Xiao Han was like an angry Vajra. The air in all directions crawled and trembled. Die. In less than a breath's time, Xiao Han appeared in front of the demon emperor in a flash. He threw a punch. Bang! Suddenly, the demon emperor's body was covered with cracks. Puff, 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 puff. The demon's body shattered like porcelain, splitting into pieces. The broken demon emperor crystal in between his eyebrows burst out of his body. Shio. Before the Demon Emperor crystal fell to the ground, the Demon Emperor palm tattoo on Xiaohan's left arm flashed with a bewitching and glass-like demonic light. The shattered Demon Emperor crystal was sucked in, and it was instantly embedded into a notch on the Demon Emperor palm. At the same time, the broken Demon Emperor's body turned into rays of light and merged into the Demon Emperor palm tattoo on Xiaohan's left arm. Buzz, 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 buzz. One after another, the demon veins were awakened. Demonic light flashed on Xiaohan's left arm. However, after burning through the spirit turtle's true qi in all 10 of his true acupoints, Xiaohan immediately collapsed. He dropped to his knees and constantly gasped for air, gasping heavily for air. Damn it. If I didn't have a lot of supreme-grade true qi spirit stones in my storage ring, I wouldn't dare to burn all my true qi like this. However, it's all worth it. Killing a severely injured demon sovereign in an instant has greatly tempered my spirit. With the experience of killing a demon sovereign this time, it's only a matter of time before I break through the 11th acupoint. Xiaohan took out the supreme-grade true qi spirit stones from his storage ring and put them into the dried true acupoints. At the same time, he transferred the 10 dried true acupoints. Shio shio shio, the hornless dragon turned into rays of light and rays of light. Thousands of strands merged into Xiaohan's true acupoints. Xiaohan instantly became energetic. His body was surrounded by icy light and cold air. Cultivating 2 types of true qi at the same time allows me to burn one of them without any worries. Xiaohan smiled. At this moment, he realized that the Demon Emperor crystal, which had almost been shattered into powder, was constantly being repaired in the groove of the Demon Emperor palm. The powdery particles had already solidified and were as good as new. At the same time, the bandits who had been waiting outside the city all along. There seems to be a battle. Brothers, let's enter the city and have a look. The bald one-eyed man waved his hand and a group of bandits rode into the city. Xiaohan straightened his black cloak and returned to the city in a leisurely manner. I wonder if Nangongyi is dead or not. Even if he's not dead, he's probably heavily injured. After killing this dying demon emperor, I obtained the Demon Emperor crystal and its life essence, awakened a large number of demon veins, and even comprehended a natal demon technique in this Demon Emperor crystal. I'm not afraid of Nangongyi anymore. Chapter 110. Xiaohan used everything he had to kill a dying demon emperor. At the same time, the tattoo on his left arm absorbed the demon's body and was greatly nourished. Demon veins awakened one after another. A demon emperor is indeed a demon emperor. Even though he is dying, his bloodline is extremely noble. Demon soldiers and demon generals can't compare to him. Xiaohan thought as he returned to the city. Including the 8 demon veins I awakened before, I now have a total of 100 demon veins. This is unbelievable. This is just a dying demon emperor that has been sealed for 10 years. If it was a demon emperor at its peak, it would have awakened more than 1,000 demon veins after being absorbed by the tattoo on the demon emperor's palm. However, a demon emperor at its peak is not someone I can kill. At least with my current combat power, I can only run away if I encounter a demon emperor at its peak. Xiaohan looked inside himself. On the demon emperor's palm, there were 100 demon veins filled with demonic energy. They emitted a pure luster, like 100 mines and spirit rivers filled with spirit qi. They contained the power to shatter mountains. There was a demon emperor crystal in each of the 2 grooves. It was as bright as the stars. The demon talisman flashed. The demon emperor crystal that had been smashed into powder had already been repaired. Sky Demon God Investiture. This was a natural demon art that Xiaohan had just learned. The North Xian Monster Emperor's illusionary movement was a ghostly movement art that was similar to teleportation. The natal monster investiture art that killed the monster emperor just now, the Sky Monster God Investiture, was to use the monster talisman to seal the opponent. Not only could it seal the opponent's attack, but it could also seal the opponent's body. If this demon art was used to its peak, it could seal the strongest opponent for thousands of years. Xiaohan suddenly remembered that Nangongye's heaven-burning grand true qi was temporarily sealed by the dying demon emperor, which allowed him to take advantage of the opportunity to injure Nangongyi. Of course, even if the 100 demon veins on Xiaohan's left arm were filled with demonic energy and he channeled all of it into the Demon Emperor crystal, he still could not use the Sky Demon God Investiture to its peak. He was still far from it. He needed to awaken more demon veins. I have already mastered 2 Demon Emperor secret techniques. Each has its own merits. Once the demon emperor palm strikes out, it will have the strength of 10,000 cauldrons. It can be said that my combat strength has increased tremendously. Xiao Han was very satisfied with today's harvest. Back in the city. At this time Xiao Han saw a group of aggressive martial artists. They surrounded the princess escort team. The one leading them was a malevolent and evil bald man with a single eye. His entire body was surging with true energy, and his light was like a sea. There was a huge python floating above his head, ready to devour anyone that it saw. 37 pentagram true acupoints flashed and vanished within the body of the one-eyed bald man. He was an expert at the 4th level of true qi. He had even opened 2 more acupoints than Nangong Yi. However, his aura was nowhere near Nangong Yi's. He shouldn't be a fiend hero. A normal true qi realm martial artist. Behind the one-eyed bald man, there were more than 10 Jinqi realm experts of varying cultivation levels. There were level 1, level 2 and level 3 true qi cultivators. These people. Xiao Han's impression was that they were a group of rogue cultivators. A mob. Hu Qinghe and several guards guarded Princess Mo Hen's chariot tenaciously, their expressions extremely tense. The atmosphere was extremely tense. Both sides seemed to be ready to go to war. Boom. A majestic true fire soared into the sky. Nangong Yi was enveloped within it. His face was as white as paper, and there were blood stains at the corner of his mouth. He looked extremely miserable and angry. However, the 35 acupoints in his body were boiling and emitting a red glow. It seemed like his battle strength was not affected. However, a thick medicinal fragrance was emitting from his body. Oh, this Nangong Yi was hit by the demon emperor and is obviously injured. However, he seems to have consumed a type of divine medicine that forcefully suppressed his injuries. He will not lose his battle strength and be at the mercy of others. Xiao Han knew in his heart. He stood by the side without making a sound. General Nangong Yi. The one-eyed man spoke in a hoarse and cryptic voice. Congratulations, General Nangong Yi, you have defeated the great demon that was sealed here. But General Nangong Yi, you seem to be injured as well. You bunch of bastards, how dare you scheme against me? Driving the wolf to devour the tiger, killing with a borrowed knife. This is a good move. It's just a despicable method. In the face of absolute strength, it can only be crushed. Nangong Yi's eyes were filled with disdain. Streaks of fiery light surrounded him, forming into the image of the ancestors worshipping the fire god. It was extremely solemn and ferocious, sweeping across the moon and heaven. The group of true qi realm experts behind the one-eyed man, seeing that Nangong Yi's battle strength was not affected, couldn't help but look at each other in shock. A few of them even wanted to take the opportunity to slip away and kept throwing glances at the one-eyed man. The one-eyed man's eyes twitched a few times, as if he was making a decision. After a few breaths he smiled and said, General Nangong Yi, I can see that your injuries are not light. You only consumed a treasure medicine that temporarily suppresses your injuries. According to what I know, this kind of medicine that suppresses injuries seems to be able to maintain your battle strength, but the side effects are extremely severe. General Nangong Yi, you must be unable to display your peak battle strength right now, right? To put it bluntly, you are strong on the outside but weak on the inside. Why don't we make a deal? Give me half of the princess's dowry, and I will leave immediately. I will not waste time. Ha! A bunch of bastards dares to negotiate with me. What a joke. All of you shall die. Nangong Yi made a grabbing motion with his right hand. Fiery light surged like a great river, instantly condensing into a burning heaven cauldron the size of a few acres. It shrouded the sky and directly charged towards the one-eyed man. Oh, 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 oh. It was as if there were volcanoes erupting within the cauldron, and it was as if there were 10,000 horses galloping. Its momentum was vast and mighty, emitting an extremely strong suction force. In an instant, dozens of physical body realm experts behind the one-eyed man were sucked into the cauldron. They screamed in pain and were turned into ashes within a breath's time. Nangong Yi, do you think I am afraid of you? The one-eyed man was enraged. The true qi python above his head was like a crazed devil. It opened its bloody mouth and shot out explosively, directly entangling the burning heaven cauldron. Clang, clang, clang. The true qi python wanted to squeeze the cauldron until it exploded. Its body grinded against the cauldron, producing the sound of metal being cut. The cauldron's light was dense, roasting the true qi python until it sizzled and smoke rose. Brothers, go. The one-eyed man was emboldened. He grabbed with his right hand, and a misty green true chi palm the size of an acre grabbed directly at Nangong Yi. At the same time, the true chi realm experts behind the one-eyed man all unleashed their ultimate moves. They all attacked Nangong Yi together. In an instant, sword chi rumbled, saber shadows overlapped and sunlight bloomed. Ultimate moves were everywhere. Nangong Yi's true chi realm deputy generals also rushed over to help, each using their ultimate moves. Bang, 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 bang. Light exploded in the sky, treasured flames rolled, and it was hard to tell who would win. A few breaths later, both sides stopped fighting. Nangong Yi's face was extremely ugly, as if he was dead. The deputy generals were also sweating, having exhausted their true chi. It was the smell of exhaustion and exhaustion. On the other hand, the bald one-eyed man's side was also retreating. He did not gain the upper hand. The one-eyed man spat out blood, his face as pale as paper. He had been seriously injured. As expected of the fiend hero, he is almost at his limit. Even with the support of treasured medicine, his combat power is still so terrifying. The one-eyed man wanted to retreat, but he did not want to give up. It was very contradictory. At this time, Nangong Yi shouted at Hu Qinghe and the princess's guards. "Why don't you attack? A bunch of trash." Suddenly, Nangong Yi's eyes flashed with ferocity as he sneered at the one-eyed man. "Don't you want the princess's dowry? I'll give you a chance. Make your move. Attack and kill the princess's guards, and I will consider giving you some true chi spiritual stones and pills. What do you think?" Nangong Yi had long wanted to eliminate the few guards of the true energy realm by the princess side. If his strength had not been damaged, it would have been a piece of cake. But now, he had been struck by the demon emperor and was heavily injured. He had to rely on the elixirs to hold on, and now he had to fight with the one-eyed man. His injuries had worsened, and he had no choice but to borrow the one-eyed man's strength to eliminate the few obstructing personal guards by the princess side. Moreover, he could use this opportunity to recover some of his combat power and slaughter the bandits in one go. The one-eyed man spat out another mouthful of blood. He choked and roared, "Nangong Yi, do you think I don't dare?" Aha! Nangong Yi folded his arms, not saying a word as he stood by the side, watching the fire burn. "What?" Hu Qinghe and the others were shocked. "Nangong Yi, you are despicable." Hu Qinghe pointed at him angrily. "First Master, that Nangong Yi seems to be on bad terms with these guards. He wants to use us to kill them." The scholar came over and whispered. Only that old man is a little tricky. He is at the peak of true chi realm and has opened 30 meridians. I will deal with him personally. You guys deal with the others. Finish them quickly and kill them. Let's see what Nangong Yi has to say." The one-eyed man was ruthless. In an instant, dozens of true chi realm bandits locked their chi onto Hu Qinghe and the other true chi realm guards. "Everyone fight." Hu Qinghe's body glowed as a river of true chi rushed out of his body and flowed above his head. There were only 4 true chi realm guards beside Hu Qinghe. Their cultivation levels were not high, they were only at level 1 and level 2. Moreover, although this group of mountain bandits were not demons, they could be considered to be brave and good at fighting. They were people who licked blood from the tip of their blades. They had killed many people, and there was a baleful aura in their true chi that was overbearing. In terms of numbers and momentum, they firmly suppressed Hu Qinghe and the others. "Protect the princess with our lives." Hu Qinghe's old face was solemn. He did not think that the few people on his side were enough to deal with dozens of bandits. He was determined to protect the princess even if he had to risk his life. This Nangong Yi is really despicable. However, it seems like he is already an arrow at the end of its flight. Sooner or later he will die. Xiao Han sighed and said loudly. "Senior Hu, let this junior handle them." As he spoke, Xiao Han walked towards the group of bandits. The group of bandits turned to look, only to see a strange person wrapped in a black cloak, walking over with a murderous aura. "First Master, this is?" the scholar exclaimed. The bald one-eyed man wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth as a fierce look appeared in his single eye. "It's just level 1 true chi. De Shimao, make your move and tear this guy apart." The white-clothed man, De Shimao, nodded and dismounted from his horse. He walked towards Xiao Han step by step. "Bandits, kill this man and I'll give you some supreme-grade vital energy spirit stones," Nangong Yi suddenly said. Xiao Han and the white-clothed man, De Shimao, stopped at the same time and stood 10 meters apart. Chapter 111. Xiao Han observed for a while and noticed that there were 18 true meridians surging within this white-robed Dashimao's body. He was a level 2 true Qi cultivator. Literature expo. Furthermore, these bandits were all slightly injured when they joined forces to attack Nangong Yi, causing them to expend a portion of their true Qi. Xiao Han looked at the bandits and then at Nangong Yi, who was floating in the air with a weak and dispirited aura. All of a sudden Xiao Han felt as though everything was under his control. It was a very strange feeling, causing Xiao Han to be slightly immersed in it. If I use the demon god's palm and use the sky demon god sealing technique, I'm afraid that no one here is a match for me. Nangong Yi is indeed a formidable martial artist and a true demon hero. However, he is severely injured at the moment and has overdrafted his life force after consuming precious medicine. He is like a lamp that has run out of oil. I'm afraid it won't be difficult for me to kill him. The feeling of controlling life and death is very good. Xiao Han squinted his eyes slightly. The 10 true meridians on his body were shimmering with a cold mist. Level 1 true Qi cultivator. Dashimao sneered and did not put Xiao Han in his eyes. Suddenly his body exploded. The 19 true meridians exploded with thousands of rays of light. Bestial roars could be heard and the illusions of tigers, leopards, wolves, snakes, eagles, bears, lions and other wild beasts appeared. His right hand turned into a true Qi beast palm the size of a water tank. It looked like a tiger or a bear with a domineering aura that could devour mountains and rivers. 100 Beast True Qi. Dashimao slammed his palm towards Xiao Han. A series of sonic booms rang out. However, bang. Unexpectedly Xiao Han did not block or evade. Instead, he used his meaty shell to forcefully take on this mountain-splitting beast's palm. Pfft. A piece of black cloth on Xiao Han's chest was smashed into powder. It was annihilated into nothingness. He took 5 steps back. Each step created a deep pit under his feet. However, under Xiao Han's skin, golden light shone brilliantly, glistening and dazzling. There were profound and ancient bone texts that appeared. Mr. Yun. When Hu Qinghao and the other guards saw that Xiao Han was instantly hit, they all collapsed and cried out involuntarily. The one-eyed man and the other bandits looked at each other and laughed. However, then, everyone was shocked to find that after Xiao Han used his flesh shell to take on the palm, surprisingly he did not die from being torn into pieces. Xiao Han stood as straight as a javelin. Not only did it not shatter Xiao Han, but it also allowed the golden light to absorb a portion of the palm force and nourish Xiao Han's body. The golden skeleton glowed even more resplendently. Pure flesh shell strength, increased to 1000 ding. Xiao Han commanded. However, I can barely withstand an attack from a level 2 true Qi cultivator. But I can't take the attack of someone at the 3rd level of true Qi and my body will explode. Xiao Han took a few steps forward, visualizing the first 50 movements of the indestructible golden body in his mind. His entire body shone with golden light. His skin flickered with multicolored splendor and bone texts. Why aren't you dead? Dashimao's expression changed drastically. The mountain bandits who were laughing were also dumbfounded at the same time, their faces filled with shock. Hu Qinghao and the others, on the other hand, were surprised and apprehensive. It was another accident. Body refining technique. It's a technique to temper the body. Nangong Ye's expression changed. Such a technique is a treasure. It can only be found by chance. I didn't expect this rogue cultivator to be so secretive. What is his background? What kind of treasured clothes are you wearing? It's impossible that I can't kill you. Dashimao roared. His palm shone brightly, and his aura surged as he slapped the air. Bang! Xiao Han was hit by another palm. Buzz! His golden bones rang and bone texts bloomed. His physical strength had increased to 1500 ding. Not good. A portion of my true Qi was absorbed by him, and when it entered his body, it was absorbed without a trace. Dashimao seemed to have woken up from a dream. Third Lady Gongsun Yu and Dashimao attacked together. Kill this bastard. The one-eyed bald man roared. Yes, First Leader. The triangular-eyed lady rushed out, and a cloud of multicolored light spurted out from her head, and a willow leaf saber floated in the air. She had opened 24 true meridians in her body, and was a level 3 true Qi cultivator. Let's see if you can block my saber Qi with just your flesh. Third Lady Gongsun shouted fiercely, and the willow leaf saber in the multicolored cloud trembled slightly. A lingering and gentle crimson saber light struck down at lightning speed towards Xiao Han. This saber seemed gentle, but it contained the power to split mountains. It was no small matter. Boom! Xiao Han did not retreat but advanced instead. He used the Imperial Chariot technique, and his physical body crushed through the air. Waves of air billowed out, and he had already arrived in front of Third Lady Gongsun. In an instant, a 5-zhang-long hornless dragon rushed out of his body, and icy cold qi gushed out. The air became damp, cold, and viscous. The chill was bone-chilling and ice crystals flew in all directions. In the sky, large snowflakes fluttered down, and the entire area within a radius of several zhang changed color, becoming a vast expanse of white. Every snowflake contained the profound ice true qi, and when a snowflake touched Third Lady Gongsun's body, it began to freeze. In less than a breath's time, the surface of Third Lady Gongsun's body was covered with a thin layer of ice. The next moment, puff! A saber jumped out of Xiao Han's true meridian. Xiao Han slashed horizontally, and Third Lady Gongsun, who was about to struggle out of the layer of ice, was cut into two at the waist. Before blood could spurt out, the hornless dragon spat out a cold breath, and blew Third Lady Gongsun's body into ice shards, and her bones were crushed. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, the hornless dragon quickly turned into endless ice, and entered Xiao Han's true meridian. Xiao Han stood with his saber, and the elegance of a peerless saber master was revealed. With a saber in hand he was lawless. The wild saber qi was like an evil dragon, and it soared into the sky, stirring up the winds and scudding the clouds, and shaking the mountains and rivers. Xiao Han could not care less about hiding now. There was no need to hide too much. He could just draw his saber and start killing, and nothing was forbidden. However, if he did not draw his saber, it would be impossible to kill all these bandits. Saber master? Nangong Ye's body trembled, and his eyes showed that he was deep in thought. But he did not speak and only looked deeply at Xiao Han. Third Lady. Seeing their comrade die, the bandits were enraged. That scholarly bandit moved and directly rushed towards Xiao Han. The sword qi above his head was dense, and a stream of sword qi, which was like a long river, slashed towards Xiao Han's head with a force that could topple the mountains and overturn the seas. This scholar's cultivation was similar to Third Lady Gongsun, and he also had 24 true meridian opened, and his true qi was at the third stage. Xiao Han used the Imperial Chariot movement technique and rumbled, and the air was dispersed. It crushed the air until it rolled away, like the sound of a river beating against the shore. Bang, 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 bang. Streams of river-like sword qi chased after Xiao Han relentlessly, blasting huge craters in the ground. But strangely, Xiao Han only dodged. He held his saber in his hand and did not counterattack. Mr. Yun, seems like he can't hold on anymore. Elder Hu, let's go. The princess's retainer, the left bodyguard, said anxiously. Wait, Mr. Yun seems to be doing this on purpose. I don't know what he's doing, but there must be a deeper meaning. Wait a little longer. Hu Qinghe frowned. Go to hell. Torrential River True Qi Sword. The scholar and Third Lady Gongsun were lovers. Now that Third Lady Gongsun had died in Xiao Han's hands, the scholar was naturally enraged, and he used his strongest attack. To kill Xiao Han. Boom, 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 boom. 9 streams of torrential river sword qi fell from the sky, and the waves were turbulent. Countless strange phenomena appeared and flowers bloomed and fell. The sword qi surged. Xiao. At this moment, the saber light in Xiao Han's right hand flashed a few times. The saber light was activated by the profound dragon ice true qi, and it was like an ice blade slashing out fiercely. The air froze and the sound of glass shattering could be heard. This guy's sword technique is not orthodox. In terms of sword technique quality, he is not even as good as Lu Feng from Mingjin Mountain Villa. But his true qi is more abundant. Xiao Han slashed a few times and he found a gap to dodge the torrential river sword qi. But the ice blade light was instantly swallowed by the tsunami-like sword qi, leaving nothing behind, and Xiao Han was in an extremely sorry state. If not for the domineering movement technique, Xiao Han would have been hit by the sword. What is he doing? Nangong Yi stared at Xiao Han as if he wanted to see through Xiao Han. Shockingly. He is trying to break through the 11th true meridian. I can feel the saber intent. He is trying to use the saber intent to cut through the void to forcefully break through the 11th true meridian, and reach level 2 true qi. This guy. Nangong Yi was a demon warrior after all, and he immediately saw through Xiao Han's intention. Indeed, Xiao Han was currently activating his saber intent to cut through the 11th true meridian. Previously, he had killed a demon emperor with his own hands, causing Xiao Han's already flawless spirit to be tempered and refined once again. Removing the impurities, he would definitely be able to break through the 11th true meridian. Hilu ***, you guys attack together. The one-eyed man saw that the scholar's attacks were futile, and he immediately ordered the 2 True Qi realm bandits beside him to join the battle and kill Xiao Han. Yes. Of the two, one was level 2 True Qi while the other was level 3 True Qi. They rushed forward, their True Qi shrouded in mist, and they were about to unleash their ultimate attack on Xiao Han. Let's attack together. De Shimao also roared and took a step forward. Now Xiao Han was surrounded by 4 True Qi realm bandits. As if facing a great enemy. Xiao Han's spirit was as tense as a bowstring. At this moment, open. The invisible saber intent took advantage of the situation. Pooh. Xiao Han's body emitted the sound of a butterfly breaking out of a cocoon. A pentagram true meridian appeared. The 11th true meridian was broken through. True Qi realm 2nd level. The 12th, 13th, and 14th true meridian exploded one after another. In an instant, Xiao Han had broken through several true meridian, causing the speed of his thought process as well as his level of life to undergo a transformation. Die. The saber in Xiao Han's right hand flashed. But there was no saber flash. The next moment, originally the 4 bandits were charging at Xiao Han in a row, intending to kill him in one blow. However, something strange happened. Their bodies stopped at the same time and their legs became heavy and stiff. It was as if they had been imprisoned and bound. With the 4 bandits as the center, the space within a radius of 2 zhang suddenly froze. Traces of ripples appeared. Bang! That piece of space exploded without any warning, directly shattering into pieces. Space turbulence and fragments swirled and twisted like a storm. Puh, 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 puh. The 4 bandits were covered with cuts and bruises, and fresh blood spurted out. The second style of the 7-fragment saber technique. Void-shattering style. It directly shattered a piece of space. This was the first time that Xiao Han had used this ultimate blade technique. Xiao Han, who had reached level 2 True Qi, could instantly shatter the space within a radius of 2 zhang with this move. What? This saber technique is actually this terrifying. The saber techniques I've seen before were only as powerful as this. Nan Gongyi was getting more and more frightened, and his heart was filled with suspicion. However, although this saber technique was powerful, it consumed a lot of True Qi. The mystic ice True Qi stored in the 10 true meridian in Xiao Han's body had already been used up by now, and only 6 true meridians still had True Qi left. The 4 bandits struggled out of the shattered space, their bodies covered in blood. They roared like wild beasts and gathered all their remaining strength to attack Xiao Han. Who? The invisible saber intent flashed like a whale out of the sea, or an eagle soaring through the sky. Wherever the saber intent passed, the ground cracked and the air was shattered, unable to reform in a short period of time. With a flash of the saber intent, blood splattered 7 feet away. The 4 bandits did not even have the chance to make a sound before their bodies were cut in half by the invisible saber intent. After my cultivation level increased, my thinking speed increased, and the strength of my soul was nourished and strengthened. My saber intent actually became a bit more condensed. A casual slash of saber intent is almost 15 zhang. Xiao Han held the saber in his hand, and walked step by step towards the remaining bandits. Colliding with the princess's carriage and trying to steal her dowry, all of you must die. Chapter 112. Xiao Han had killed 5 True Qi realm bandits with his first level True Qi cultivation. In the midst of the battle, he had opened several acupoints and stepped into the 2nd level of the True Qi realm. It was truly shocking. Of course, to be honest, killing bandits above his level was not something to be proud of. Bandits were not like the direct disciples of sections. Their cultivation methods were crude and inferior, and they lacked True Qi spiritual stones. They were a typical motley crew that bullied the weak and feared the strong. This guy. The one-eyed man and the other True Qi stage bandits were completely stupefied. Not only did they not pounce towards Xiao Han because of the death of their comrade, their fighting spirit had instead become dispirited, and their fighting spirit was gradually being defeated. Let's go. This guy has hidden his strength, he's not easy to deal with. Let's retreat first. The one-eyed man ordered and was about to lead his subordinates to scatter. At this moment, boom! Nan Gongyi grabbed with his right hand. A giant palm made of True Qi appeared out of nowhere and came crashing down like a raging fire. Large groups of bandits were instantly set ablaze. With a crackling sound, their bodies exploded and died without a complete corpse. Xiao 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 xiao. Xiaohan's right hand turned into a blur. Hundreds of saber auras stacked in front of him and slashed out. Pooh! The powerful true chi saber aura was dozens of feet long. Like a rainbow, it was like an army of thousands of horses, cutting through everything, killing people and ghosts. Mixed with a trace of saber intent, it seemed to possess an immortal aura as it rushed towards the bandits. Enveloped by this powerful saber aura, many physical body realm bandits were slashed into a bloody mist, leaving no trace behind. Even true chi realm bandits were dismembered. Blazing Sky Furnace. Nangong Yi used his strongest move, the furnace that could incinerate everything. It devoured all the surviving bandits, including the one-eyed man, and turned them into ashes. The invading bandits were all annihilated. The members of the escort team were relieved, but they quickly turned to look at Xiaohan and Nangong Yi quietly. "I'm afraid you're not just an ordinary wandering cultivator." Nangong Yi looked at Xiaohan with interest. "Swordsman. Your Excellency is actually a peerless swordsman who has comprehended saber intent. In the entire Beacon Fire Empire, the bladesmen who comprehended saber intent were all bladesmen. Not many. I heard that the youth from the Cloud sect, Xiaohan, has comprehended saber intent. Sir, it's time to take off your mask." Streaks of dawn fire. It coiled around Nangong Ye's body like a fire dragon. He floated in midair, his eyes spitting out beams of fire. He looked like a god. Xiaohan did not make a sound, but the tattoo on his left arm began to throb slightly. "General Nangong Yi, you can try lifting my mask yourself. I will definitely not disappoint you." Nangong Yi was heavily injured, so Xiaohan was not afraid. However, it seemed necessary to spare Nangong Ye's life for now. After all, Xiaohan was still in the southern domain and was in a dangerous situation. There were many variables. Should he continue to stay in the welcoming team and bluff his way through? Until he left the southern region, or directly exposed his identity and activated the demon god's palm. Start a massacre. Xiaohan pondered for a while. Furthermore, Xiaohan had promised to protect Princess Emohen, so he couldn't just leave like that. For a bladesman who comprehended saber intent, killing people above his level is as easy as eating and drinking water. Furthermore, I'm injured, so you don't seem to be afraid. Nangong Yi said slowly. But, you just killed those bandits above your level. Did you use up a large amount of true energy? Moreover, you used saber intent consecutively, which exhausted your spirit. I'm afraid you don't even have 50% of your original combat strength? Your Excellency should know that I am a demon hero and cannot be measured by common sense. To be honest, I still have some precious medicines that can reduce my lifespan in exchange for combat strength. Your Excellency, are you still as calm as water? Ah. Xiaohan laughed. General Nangong, are you threatening me? I'll say it again, you can try. Xiaohan's voice was very calm. His black cloak covered his face, making it impossible to see his expression, making him seem even more unfathomable. Nangong Yi hesitated for a moment. The corner of his eyes twitched slightly before he smiled. All right, everyone take a step back. Let's continue our journey first. We'll decide after we pass through the Blazing Sun Empire. Xiaohan and Nangong Yi smiled at each other with ulterior motives. Then they returned to their respective groups. Nangong Yi sat on the strange beast at the front of the group and waved his hand. Let's go. Xiaohan returned to the side of Princess Emohen's chariot and quietly mounted a flood dragon horse. The group prepared to set off again and pass through this city. At this moment, General, what should we do with this bone arrow? A true Chi Realm Deputy General's figure flashed and jumped to the center of the plaza. At this moment, the bone arrow that had sealed the Demon Emperor for 10 years was stabbed into the ground in the center of the plaza. The bone arrow was white and flawless, emitting a bitter and desolate aura. The runes engraved on the bone arrow possessed a supreme aura that made the mountains and rivers tremble. As deep as the sea. General, this bone arrow is really mystical. It's not an ordinary item. The Deputy General bent down to pull the arrow out. Don't pull it out. Nangong Yi screamed. Unexpectedly, his warning was a step too late. The Deputy General seemed to want to pull out the bone arrow and claim credit in front of Nangong Yi. Without thinking, he grabbed with his right hand and pulled. In an instant, buzz. The bone arrow emitted a godly sound and Buddhist chants, and a huge rune appeared, directly enveloping the Deputy General. Bang! The Deputy General knelt on both knees, a complicated rune appearing between his eyebrows. His eyeballs were motionless, like a stone statue, and he still held the bone arrow in his hand. He could no longer feel a trace of life from his body. Damn it! It's been sealed. Nangong Ye's facial muscles twitched. Too stupid. Even the demon heroes of the Blazing Sun Empire do not dare to easily pull out this bone arrow. Go around the plaza. The escort group nervously went around the plaza and then quickly left this ominous city. Xiaohan looked back and thought, this bone arrow contains a terrifying seal. It seems to have the same effect as the Sky Demon's investiture. However, with my current demon power, I am still unable to release a seal as strong as this bone arrow. But I believe that this day will come. Mr. Yun? At this moment, Hu Qinghe whispered in Xiaohan's ear. Mr. Yun, I'm afraid we're in danger on this journey. You saw for yourself just now, Nangong Yi actually went crazy and instigated the bandits to kill us. This is utter treason. I don't know if we can make it to the East region alive. Xiaohan took out a few supreme-grade True Energy Spirit Stones from his storage ring and stuffed them into the dried-up and newly opened True Meridians. He licked his lips and said, if Nangong Yi was not injured, he would have attacked me just now. Plus, he would definitely want to get rid of the princess's henchmen. He is stalling for time, waiting for his injuries to recover. Hu Qinghe was a little frightened. Then, Mr. Yun, what should we do? Now that all my True Meridians are empty, I need to refine a few supreme-grade True Energy Spirit Stones to replenish my energy. Plus, the Blazing Sun Empire has many powerful monsters, including the Emperor of Japan and the Dragon Bone Saint Blade. So, let's endure for now. Once we pass through the Blazing Sun Empire and enter the wasteland, we will immediately attack and kill Nangong Yi. A gentleman does not stand in front of a collapsing wall. To strike first to gain the upper hand. Xiaohan's eyes flashed with an uncontrollable killing intent. Once we leave the Blazing Sun Empire, attack immediately. Mr. Yun, are we going to attack Nangong Yi? Hu Qinghe was shocked. There's no other way. Are we going to wait until Nangong Yi recovers before killing us? Xiaohan was determined to kill Nangong Yi this time. But in the Blazing Sun Empire, he did not dare to attack, nor did he dare to use his demonic techniques as he wished. That's true. Hu Qinghe finally nodded his head heavily. Rather than being killed by Nangong Yi, we might as well kill him. Originally, we didn't want the princess to marry to the Eastern Domain. This time we might as well throw caution to the wind and kill Nangong Yi, then escape with the princess. It's better than marrying to the Eastern Domain, a foreign country. Mr. Yun, everything depends on you. Hurry up and absorb the top-grade True Qi Spirit Stones to recover your True Qi. Yun, you must protect Mo Hen. At this time, Mo Hen also lifted the curtain, revealing her beautiful and delicate face. She was so beautiful that it made people feel suffocated, making people feel pity for her. General Nangong Yi doesn't seem to have good intentions. Xiaohan nodded slightly. 17, don't worry. I will definitely strike first and eliminate Nangong Yi. With that, Xiaohan did not waste any more time. He silently circulated his profound art, and strands of pure True Qi were refined into the Spirit Turtle True Qi and the Great Hornless Dragon Profound Ice True Qi, which were stored in Xiaohan's dried-up True Acupoints. At the front of the group, Nangong Ye's face was hazy, his eyes filled with killing intent. General Nangong, that guy, is he really the Xiaohan wanted by the entire country? A deputy general asked carefully. This seat does not dare to confirm. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. However, that's not important. Nangong Yi said coldly. When this seat recovers and my combat strength is at its peak, I will lift his mask and take a good look. That physique tempering technique of his, this seat wants to obtain it. If he really is Xiaohan, that's even better. He stole the North Mystic Demonic King Crystal, it's a great treasure. If this seat obtains it, I can exchange it for countless resources and secret techniques at the Yaoxia Pagoda. Pausing for a while, Nangong Yi lowered his voice and said, in the Blazing Sun Empire, do not be ostentatious. Let's keep a low profile and ignore that guy for now. In the Blazing Sun Empire, including the Emperor of Japan, many of the strongest heroes are coveting Xiaohan. If that guy is really Xiaohan, all the more we cannot let the Emperor of Japan and the rest take him away. The Emperor of Japan, Dragon Bone Saint Blade and the rest are all vicious and cunning. If they interfere, how would I stand to gain? Yes, General Nangong, leave the Blazing Sun Empire's territory and enter an uninhabited wasteland. I believe at that time General's injuries will be healed. The deputy general nodded heavily. Nangongyi thought for a while and said softly. Listen, pass down the secret order. Leave the blazing Sun Empire and enter an uninhabited wasteland. Begin the purge. Kill all the servants around the princess. Leave none alive. General, kill them all? The deputy general was shocked. And the journey to the eastern region is too far and too arduous. We've only just entered the blazing Sun Empire, and we've already lost so many men. I'm afraid there will be more problems before we enter the eastern region. Forget it, sigh. This seat has failed to live up to the emperor's expectations. There's no need to go to the eastern region, it'll save the princess the trouble. Nangongye's eyes flashed with killing intent and a maniacal sinister light. Ominous city plaza. The deputy general who pulled out the arrow had lost all signs of life. He knelt in the middle of the plaza, his hand still holding onto the dazzling bone arrow that was intertwined with divine light and runic symbols. Right at this moment, Wang. The bone arrow let out a divine sound and actually broke free from the deputy general's hand. Following that, it flew up into the sky and chased after the princess entourage. Chapter 113. According to the speed of the escort team, it would take around 10 days to cross the proud Sun Empire. They would arrive at the border between the proud Sun Empire and the Blaze Scar Empire. After entering the proud Sun Empire, Nangongyi kept a low profile. He tried his best to lead the team along empty mountain paths, avoiding the prosperous cities of the proud Sun Empire. He would not interact with the various sects of the proud Sun Empire either. It seemed that Nangongyi did not dare to be too ostentatious after his injuries. However, news of the Beacon Fire Empire marrying off a princess had reached the proud Sun Empire long ago. As a result, the proud Sun Empire did not seem too curious about this team. Occasionally, a few true Qi realm cultivators would come to ask around, but Nangongyi easily dealt with them. 7 days passed just like that. Xiaohan currently sat cross-legged in a large carriage. Xiaohan's body shone with golden light, bone inscriptions faintly visible. He was cultivating the invincible golden body. Xiaohan's pure physical strength had increased to 1,500 cauldrons. He was completely different from a normal person. He was comparable to a savage beast in the truest sense of the word. A normal person's physical body could not withstand such violent strength. It would definitely explode. However, Xiaohan's physical body would only grow stronger the more he cultivated. There was no limit. Using the invincible golden body now is very interesting. I can absorb other people's true qi and convert it into my own physical strength. Xiaohan smiled. As expected of one of the martial arts used to seal the evil egg, I've refined the essence and taste. Now, my body is full and sturdy, and my weight far exceeds 500 kilograms. My bones are especially heavy now that they've turned into golden bones. As for his true qi cultivation, Xiaohan had opened 14 true acupoints. With the replenishment of supreme-grade true qi stones, the spirit turtle true qi and hornless dragon profound ice true qi had filled his true acupoints and virtual acupoints. He could change them as he pleased. The difference between the first and second stage true qi was not just the number of true acupoints opened. It was related to the speed of thought and the transformation of the soul. Simply put, after breaking through the barrier of the 11th true acupoint and reaching the second stage, Xiaohan's thought process was roughly twice as fast as when he was at the first stage. This increased Xiaohan's speed and reaction time to dodge the enemy's attacks. At the same time, his attack speed also increased. His soul was firm and full. His blade intent was solid. In addition, his lifespan had increased. Fang Ling had once told Xiaohan that those in the martial Dao could have at least 300 years of lifespan after tempering their bodies to the peak of perfection. After that, he would enter the Jinqi realm. Every time he opened a true acupoint, his lifespan would increase by roughly 30 years. In other words, Xiaohan could easily live up to 700 years old. Martial artists could overcome the natural aging process. The saber intent is getting sharper. It had almost reached the peak of the initial success stage. However, saber intent was very mysterious. How could one reach the threshold of middle stage saber intent? Is too ethereal? When Xiaohan was pondering over the saber intent, he was the most confused because the saber intent was formless. However, he knew that once his sword Dao reached the middle stage, his combat power would increase by at least a level, perhaps even more. Also, the third form of the 7-fragment saber art, the intent-shattering form. How does it shatter my saber intent? Let him undergo nirvana rebirth? It is extremely dangerous to shatter your own saber intent. If you are not careful, your saber intent will be completely destroyed. Furthermore, your comprehension of the saber Tao will not improve for the rest of your life. The martial Tao was too vast and profound. Xiao Han's martial Tao path was not a simple path. However, Xiao Han excelled in diligence and perseverance. He continued to comprehend and study the martial Tao. He would not give up easily. At the front of the group, Nangong Ye's pale and dispirited face was slowly regaining some color, as though he was in high spirits. His aura was like a rainbow. His eyes shone with the aura of being in control of everything. "General Nangong, have you recovered from your injuries?" A deputy general asked carefully. "Fortunately, I do not lack healing medicines. I have recovered by 70%. Nangong Yi laughed coldly. 70% of my combat power is enough to kill that guy. Even though he had comprehended the saber intent, there are thousands of Daos. Saber intent and sword intent are not the only things that are ethereal and unreal. I have opened 35 true acupoints at 4th stage true Qi. That guy has opened 14 true acupoints at 2nd stage true Qi. The gap between us is too big. It is not enough to describe it as the difference between heaven and earth." "Yes, General. You are 2 levels ahead. Killing that guy will be as easy as blowing off dust. Don't worry, General. I have already given the order. Once we enter the border between the Blazing Sun Empire and the Blazing Scar Empire, we will start to eliminate all of Princess Emohen's henchmen. However, how do you plan to deal with Princess Emohen? Bring her back to the Beacon Fire Empire?" "Oh," Nangong Yi said secretively. "Princess Emohen, there is no need to return to the Beacon Fire Empire. I have my own way of dealing with her. His Majesty will definitely be satisfied with my method." "Ah." Nangong Yi could no longer hold back and let out a wild laugh. He was in high spirits. Thinking that he did not need to travel to the eastern region, Nangong Yi felt relaxed. 3 days later, the escort team finally crossed the Blazing Sun Empire and entered a deserted wilderness. This was a region surrounded by barren mountains, majestic and majestic. These mountains lacked vitality, giving off a grayish-brown impression. There were many rocks scattered in the mountains. Occasionally, there would be a few meters long one flying across the sky. "Set up camp and rest here until noon," Nangong Yi ordered. He looked at a few of his trusted subordinates and signaled with his eyes. Then Nangong Yi strode towards the center of the team, where Princess Emohen's carriage was. According to the plan, Nangong Yi would take Xiao Han away and break all of his bones in the mountains. He would interrogate him to find out what he wanted, such as a body refinement technique. Then he would kill Xiao Han. At the same time, the subordinates would lead the soldiers to slaughter all the henchmen of the princess, leaving only Princess Emohen alive for the time being. "Mr. Yun, Nangong Yi is coming this way." Hu Qinghe's eyes flashed with hidden killing intent, but there was more nervousness and apprehension. He had followed the rules all his life and had never thought of making a move against a swordsman. Moreover, judging from his appearance, Nangong Ye's aura was getting stronger and stronger. It was possible that he had already recovered from his injuries and recovered his peak combat strength. "Can I have a word with you?" Nangong Yi looked at Xiao Han with a smile that did not reach his eyes. "I have some confidential matters to ask you alone." "Oh." Xiao Han's eyes swept around and found that the subordinates and soldiers under Nangong Yi were holding weapons in their hands. Their eyes were bloodshot and filled with killing intent. A large number of soldiers vaguely formed a pincer around the henchmen of the princess. Some soldiers used greedy and evil eyes to stare at the voluptuous figures of some pretty maids, gulping down saliva. The atmosphere was really strange. Xiao Han could even smell the killing intent. "What? This Nangong Yi seems to want to slaughter the henchmen of Princess Emohen. Those soldiers and subordinates are ready for battle, their eyes filled with the excitement of killing." Xiao Han was moved. He did not expect that Nangong Yi would be so cruel. Before reaching the eastern region, he wanted to start a massacre and kill the innocent henchmen of the princess. "General Nangong, could it be that you want to start a massacre?" Xiao Han said in a clear voice. His voice spread far and wide, echoing in the mountains. "You are crazy, you want to kill all the henchmen of the princess." "Ah? What does this mean? General Nangong wants to kill us?" Many of the guards, craftsmen, maids, painters, and tailors were all shocked out of their wits, as they looked left and right in fear, as though they had lost their souls. "Ah." Nangong Yi didn't deny or hide anything. He let out a long and evil laugh. "You people betrayed the empire and defected to the enemy. You despised the imperial family of the Beacon Fire Empire. You deserve to die 10,000 times and your 9 generations will be exterminated. Today, under the secret order of His Majesty, I will execute all of you. Your corpses will be exposed in the wilderness. Ah! Hearing Nangong Ye's words, at least half of the henchmen of the princess fainted in fear. The other half trembled like sifting chaff, their faces ashen. Hu Qinghe and a few Tru Chi realm guards roared and cursed while blocking the carriage of Princess Mo Hen, swearing to defend with their lives. Mo Hen lifted the curtain and asked sternly, "General Nangong, you gave a false order. What is your intention?" However, she was born weak and kind. At this time she was already weeping like a pear blossom. She was strong on the outside but weak on the inside. She almost fainted. "Your Highness." Ha ha ha. Nangong Yi laughed arrogantly, full of disdain and the supreme pleasure of controlling the whole situation. "Nangong Yi, let's fight." Suddenly Xiao Han's body rose up and floated in the air. His whole body was covered with icy light. Ice crystals rustled and fluttered down. A single blade was already in his hand. The blade's aura swept across several li, swallowing mountains and rivers, destroying everything. "Ah! Forget it, I will defeat you here, destroy your cultivation and interrogate all your secrets." Nangong Yi also floated in the air. The 35 pentagram true meridians in his body shone brightly. The burning heaven great true chi shone through the ages, incinerating everything. "I don't care if you're a hidden rogue cultivator of the Jianghu or Xiaohan, I will cripple you and make you experience all kinds of pain and torture. At the same time, I will show you the difference between you and me. Once upon a time, there was a mayfly that dreamed of." Nangong Yi continued to talk, trying to destroy Xiaohan's confidence and will to fight. "Bullshit!" Xiaohan roared, interrupting Nangong Yi. "Demon hero. Today I will kill a demon hero with my own hands. There is a saying, below the group of immortals is the demon hero, below the demon hero are all living beings. But today I will slaughter the demon hero. No matter who it is, since they want to kill me they must pay the price. I don't believe in fate. My fate is decided by man, not by the heavens. If the heavens want to destroy me, I will destroy the heavens." Suddenly, an unparalleled domineering and violent fighting spirit burst out from Xiaohan's body. Silence reigned all around. Even the soldiers who were ready to start a massacre were scared. They were completely intimidated by Xiaohan's aura. "Nangong Yi, today I will kill you like a pig or a dog." Xiaohan laughed coldly. "How dare you? This was completely presumptuous. Go to hell." Nangong Yi made a grabbing motion with his right hand. A giant palm made of true fire grabbed at Xiaohan with a sea of light. The speed of the true chi giant palm print was extremely fast. It was way faster than a low-level true chi cultivator's reaction speed. Splat! This time it caught him. Xiaohan's body was torn into pieces and burned into nothingness. But this was just an afterimage and a mirror image. In the next moment, Xiaohan's real body appeared behind Nangong Yi. What? Moving like an illusion? Beixian Demon King's movement is like an illusion. You are Xiaohan. You really are Xiaohan. How dare you expose your demon chi? You are asking for death. Nangong Yi roared. Go to hell for your father. Burning true chi. Dragon Face was furious. The king wants his subject dead. Nangong Yi suddenly felt a huge wave of chi coming at him from behind. He turned around to look. Xiaohan's entire body was bathed in the true chi fire, his aura and strength were rising. Lawless, killing gods and immortals. Chapter 114. Xiaohan knew that he and Nangong Yi would not rest until one of them was dead. Therefore he used his most powerful attack right from the start. He even used the secret technique of the demon race. He did not hesitate to expose his identity. Because Xiaohan knew that if he did not go all out, he would not be able to defeat Nangong Yi, and he would be killed instead. After all, the difference in cultivation level between the two could not be ignored. At this moment, Xiaohan had arrived behind Nangong Yi with an illusory flash. He immediately ignited all the spirit turtle's true chi in his 14 true acupoints. The strength of his body rose steadily, explosively increasing by 14 times. Mountain reclamation. Boom. Dragon Face was enraged. Xiaohan was determined. Without hesitation, he threw a punch at Nangong Yi as if he was putting his life on the line. The punch was so powerful that it created a hurricane. It even sucked all the air within a few meters, forming a vacuum field. Nangong Yi was at the 4th stage of true chi, so his reaction speed was extremely fast. He could only feel that Xiaohan's punch was unavoidable. The meteorite-like fist grew larger and larger in his eyes. This punch is a bit powerful, but it's not enough. Amidst his shock, Nangong Yi displayed the combat skills of a demon warrior who had been through hundreds of battles. A wall of fire was erected in front of Nangong Yi in an instant. The great burning heaven true chi went all out to defend. Within the wall of fire, shadows of fiery trees, silver flowers, wind, forest, and fire appeared. Xiaohan's dragon face was furious. He burned all the true chi in his body to increase his strength. The true chi in his 14 acupoints was burned, increasing his strength by 14 times. However, this was only a form of pure strength. It did not mean that Xiaohan could defeat an enemy 14 times stronger than him. One must know that the Golden Armor Demon Warrior and Nangong Yi both cultivated extremely high-quality true chi cultivation methods, which meant that their attacks and defenses were enhanced. In the blink of an eye, bang, earth-shattering, falling meteorite, collision of stars. Xiaohan's punch. His anger and strength reached its peak. It landed directly on the wall of fire formed by the great burning heaven true chi. Crack, 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 crack. Numerous cracks appeared on the surface of the wall. Balls of flames were blown away by this punch. It's not bad for you to be able to slightly break through my defense with your current realm. But I can see that you burned all of your true chi in exchange for such great power. With a single punch, all the true energy in your body would be exhausted. You would be completely overdrawn. If you can continue to unleash this kind of power, then even I will be a little afraid of you. Alright, time to be executed. I'll capture you, cripple your cultivation, break all your bones, and slowly interrogate you. Nangong Yi kept on laughing sinisterly. He could tell that Xiaohan was at the end of his tether. However, the ruler wants the subject dead. Xiaohan took advantage of the moment when his true chi was about to run out and his strength was about to dry up to strike out with the Son of Heaven's divine fist. If the monarch wanted his subjects dead, this was a form of domineering will. He brought out the might of a monarch to the extreme, striking out with the Tao of a monarch and subject, causing his opponent to hallucinate mentally. His opponent was like a subject meeting the emperor. He was sentenced to death and had no choice but to die. What? Suddenly, under the general trend of the emperor wanting the minister to die, Nangong Yi felt the world spinning around him and his vision blurred. He realized that he was kneeling in the throne room and had committed countless crimes that were too numerous to be listed. He had even implicated his entire family and clan. Nangong Yi's tears fell uncontrollably as he spoke with a trembling voice. Your subject deserves to die. Your subject deserves to die. Bang. In the next moment, Nangong Yi felt a sharp pain in his chest and his entire body was sent flying. He suddenly came to his senses and discovered that he had been punched by Xiaohan at close range. Even the general armor on his body had been struck with thousands of spiderweb-like cracks. Nangong Yi's entire body was embedded in the middle of a giant stone mountain. The mountain began to tremble and rocks flew everywhere. Hew, hew, hew. At this moment, Xiaohan suddenly collapsed. He felt dizzy and exhausted and almost fell from the sky. The spectators below were all dumbstruck and silent. No one expected that Xiaohan would send Nangong Yi flying in one move. If this was spread out, it would be the biggest joke in the world. No one would believe it. However, it was happening in reality. Pfft. Suddenly, the stone mountain began to burn. Waves of heat filled the sky. The mountain rocks were burned into lava and dripped down like mercury. Nangong Yi, bathed in true fire, walked out of the sky like a demon god. His general armor was shattered and blood seeped out of the corner of his mouth, making him look extremely wretched and ferocious. Good, you are indeed powerful. That punch contained the Tao of a ruler and minister. It looked down on the world and was unparalleled. It made me hallucinate. If your cultivation level was higher, you could have crushed me in one move. That should be your last attack before you die, right? Alright, that's it. Your true energy has been used up. Everything is over. As for your body refinement technique and this tyrannical fist technique, they'll all belong to me. Nangong Yi walked towards Xiaohan in the sky. Every step he took caused the air to solidify and left behind a series of footprints. Nangong Yi quickly stuffed an ancient holy medicine into his mouth and his aura began to rise. Above his head, flames spread out like a peacock spreading its tail. The grand blazing cauldron was formed. The scorching cauldron was like a scorching sun. It moved slowly, crushing and roasting the air as it moved towards Xiaohan. A pressure as heavy as a mountain came crashing down on him. Monster hero, it is indeed difficult to kill. Xiaohan let out a breath. In the next moment, the 9 revolutions divine art was activated. The true acupoints in his body rotated and the spirit turtle true chi was moved away from the empty acupoints. It was replaced by the vigorous black ice dragon true chi. Boom. Endless frost shot out from Xiaohan's body. There was snow in the world. What? Nangongyi was shocked. He couldn't even speak properly. You actually cultivated 2 types of true chi at the same time. You are not afraid of the collision of different types of true chi and the explosion of your body? Furthermore, I noticed that the true acupoints in your body have undergone a subtle change, causing your already dried up true acupoints to be filled with black ice true chi in an instant. When the old energy was used up, new energy was born like a withered tree coming back to life. You have too many secrets. You are a living treasure. Heaven burning cauldron, suppress for me. Suppress with all your might. Boom. The cauldron suddenly became as big as a mountain in an instant. It was majestic and hot. Nangongye's heaven-burning true chi is indeed powerful. Right now, my black ice dragon true chi has yet to reach completion and is far from being able to withstand the heaven-burning cauldron. Furthermore, even if I burn all my true chi again and use the Son of Heaven's divine fist, I might not be able to kill Nangongyi. After all, he is already prepared. Besides, I do not dare to burn the black ice dragon true chi as well. If I do that, I will have no way out. Forget it. I will use that move. In the face of such a huge crisis, Xiaohan displayed his calm side. Everything in the world became silent. In the next moment, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Xiaohan's left arm flashed with demonic light. Buzz. A demonic sound was heard. A demonic wind swept across. An ancient demonic talisman the size of an acre appeared. It was dark green and shone with demonic light. And it was accompanied by obscure and distant chanting. Heavenly demonic god sealing. In an instant, the heaven-burning cauldron was sealed by the demonic talisman. The demonic talisman had drained the demonic monarch's palm tattoo on Xiaohan's left arm. The demonic energy contained in all the demonic veins. It could seal the heaven-burning cauldron for 5 breaths' time. The cauldron that could burn everything. Now it had turned into a pile of scrap metal. My true chi. It sealed. Nangongye's heart was in turmoil. He could only feel that the heaven-burning cauldron that was formed by his true chi had suddenly lost its connection with his soul and true meridians. It was like a clay ox entering the ocean. It's the demonic technique of the demon emperor in the dead city. Xiaohan, how did you learn it? Who are you? Nangongye's rock-solid mental defense was finally broken. Xiaohan had too many trump cards. Every trump card was so strange and couldn't be measured by common sense. The heavenly demonic god sealing can still last for 4 breaths' time. Kill. Xiaohan's body moved like a savage beast and appeared in front of Nangongyi. Bang. He threw a punch. It landed heavily on Nangongye's body. All of Nangongye's true chi had been released and sealed. Therefore his defense was at its weakest. Although his flesh was stronger than anyone below the realm of true chi, it still could not withstand Xiaohan's punches. Puchi. The armor on Nangongye's body was instantly shattered. Bang. Xiaohan threw another punch. Nangongye's clothes were shredded into dust. Bang. 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 Xiaohan's punches were like a storm. Nangongyi was forced to retreat step by step. Blood gushed out of Nangongye's mouth like a mountain spring. There were also broken teeth and broken eyeballs. All of his bones were shattered. At this moment, puff. The demonic talisman dimmed down. It lost the seal and suppression on the heaven-burning cauldron. The heaven-burning cauldron turned into rays of light and was about to return to Nangongye's true meridians. However, die. With a thought, Xiaohan's saber intent slashed out like an evil dragon. Nangongye's head was sent flying. Blood spurted several feet into the air. I can't believe that I would die in the hands of someone like you. The head clenched its teeth and uttered a sentence before exploding. Nangongye's headless body fell to the ground. The countless strands of true inferno chi suddenly lost control. Boom! The true inferno chi exploded into the sky and tore the clouds apart. The heavenly wind blew and the earth shook. Finally, Nangongye's true inferno chi disappeared from the world. At the same time, puff, 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 puff. The true meridians in Nangongye's body were all destroyed. Pieces of spiritual stones, books, maps and pills all fell out. Xiaohan was surprised. Nangongye's true meridians have quite a lot of items. Xiaohan fell to the ground. Nangongye's subordinates and soldiers all retreated in fear. Nangong Ye's death had destroyed their willpower and turned them into a pile of loose sand. Chapter 115. After killing Nangong Yi, Xiaohan quickly cleaned up the spoils of war. From Nangong Ye's true meridians, piles of true qi spirit stones burst out. There were also some medicine bottles. And a few books. Xiaohan picked up one of the books and looked at it. On the title page there were big ancient characters. However, Xiaohan did not look at it carefully. He just threw it into his true meridians and stored it. In addition, Xiaohan also found a few feathers of birds and a few maps. Devil Hero Token? Xiaohan picked up a palm-sized black token from the ground. It was covered with ancient seal characters and runes, depicting the fight between the ancient people and the demon race. It exuded an ancient aura, exuding a solemn and mystical aura. Under the three ancient characters, Devil Hero Token, was the name Nangong Yi. This Devil Hero Token seems to contain a very mysterious aura and incredible power, but I can't activate it. Xiaohan murmured to himself. Then he threw the Devil Hero Token into his true meridians and put it away. Seeing Xiaohan devouring Nangong Ye's belongings, the deputy generals and soldiers did not dare to be angry or speak. They wanted to escape, but they seemed to be intimidated by Xiaohan's power. Their lives were in his hands and they did not have the strength to move. Xiaohan killing Nangong Yi had already left an almost invincible impression in the hearts of the deputy generals and soldiers. They were anxious, afraid that Xiaohan would jump out and kill them. Suddenly, bang! A Jinchi realm deputy general's knees buckled and he knelt down, his entire body trembling in fear. Mercy, please, please forgive. Princess Mo Hen and young hero Xiaohan, please have mercy and spare my life. With this, a large number of people immediately knelt down. Some of the soldiers even kept kowtowing like pounding garlic. The retainers of the princess also looked at each other in dismay. The princess stretched out her white jade-like hand. She opened the curtain and walked down with light steps. Yun, you are that Xiaohan, right? Princess Mo Hen said softly. Her eyes were filled with curiosity and gratitude but not much fear. Mr. Yun? Oh no, young hero Xiaohan. Wuxia also walked towards Xiaohan. Young hero Xiaohan is truly remarkable. In the Beacon Fire Empire he was wanted by the entire empire. All the fiendish heroes of the imperial family were sent out to hunt down young hero Xiaohan. Young swordsman Xiaohan actually sneaked into Princess Mo Hen's wedding procession and crossed the sea by deceiving everyone to arrive here, completely distancing himself from the Fire Beacon Empire. Furthermore, young swordsman Xiaohan even killed Nangong Yi. This old man truly admires such methods. I believe that young hero Xiaohan will definitely become a great figure in the future. Along the way, Xiaohan and Hu Qinghe were quite familiar with each other. Thus, even though Xiaohan was in the Beacon Fire Empire, he was still a friend of Hu Qinghe. Hu Qinghe firmly believed that Xiaohan was not an unpardonably evil person. In fact, he was many times purer than the sanctimonious demon hero Nangong Yi. Xiaohan stood up and lifted his cloak. That young and slightly immature face was completely exposed under the sunlight. He seemed somewhat harmless, but his eyes were pitch black and intelligent, as unfathomable as an ancient well. Princess Mo Hen, Senior Hu Xiaohan was forced to conceal his identity. Also, Xiaohan is not an evil person. He would never harm any of you. As for killing Nangong Yi, it was truly a fluke. Xiaohan knew his own situation very well. Killing Nangong Yi this time was extremely difficult. He had burnt up the spirit turtle true qi in 14 of his true acupoints and depleted the demon qi in 100 of his demon veins. He had used all his trump cards and killed Nangong Yi in the end. If he had hesitated or made a wrong move, he could have been killed by Nangong Yi instead. Then, Senior Hu, where should I go now? I'm afraid I can't go to the east anymore. I also need to avoid the endless pursuit. Xiaohan frowned deeply. Also, what should we do with Nangong Yi and the other soldiers? These soldiers in general should all be killed and silenced. Furthermore, they attempted to slaughter the servants of the princess. They deserved to die. However, Xiaohan was not willing to kill those who could not defend themselves. This. Hu Qinghe thought for a while and said cautiously. Why don't we find a secluded place and settle down the princess first? If possible, we can escape to the north or west. The true martial continent is boundless. The Beacon Fire Empire is just the tip of the iceberg. It cannot cover the sky. I believe that we can escape. At this moment, another guard in the True Qi realm looked up and said in surprise. Why are there two suns in the sky? What is going on? Oh. Xiao Han's heart skipped a beat and he looked up. There were indeed two blazing suns floating in the sky. The two suns were the same size. The sunlight shone on the earth and brought warmth. Suddenly, from one of the suns, a man in a golden robe walked out with his hands behind his back. His face looked like it was carved out of stone. He was naturally able to attract light, causing all the light and heat in the world to gather on his body. He stood out like a crane among chickens. There was an innate pride in his eyes. His temperament was filled with the grace and coldness of a leader. The great Sun Emperor. The strongest among the heroes. He actually tracked and appeared here. At this moment, the great Sun Emperor walked down from the sky step by step. A blazing sun followed closely behind and hung above his head. A deity appeared in the blazing sun. His eyes were closed and he looked solemn. However, as soon as they opened their eyes, they would inevitably unleash a world-destroying might that illuminated the ages and swept through the world. Rays of sunlight were reflected from every pore on the great Sun Emperor's body. These rays of sunlight showed the ancestors worshipping the harvest of the 5 crops, the palace, the towns and villages, all kinds of things. These rays of sunlight had the taste of the common people. The golden sunlight covered the area where Xiao Han was. The strong pressure directly covered it. It caused everyone to wish for nothing more than to kneel down and prostrate themselves in worship. Their bodies had already been deprived of the right to walk and move. The great Sun Emperor, it's him. Now Xiao Han's heart was completely cold. The great Sun Emperor's battle power had surpassed the pure rain sects Dongfang Qin and Fang Ling. The feeling of looking up to a high mountain gripped Xiao Han. Xiao Han. The great Sun Emperor walked down leisurely. With his body as the center, a large area could be seen. Indistinctly, Sanskrit chants and hymns could be heard. He was like a deity. His eyes were like stars and were covered in golden light. High above, he spoke indifferently as if he was going to judge someone's life and death. To think that you actually sneaked into the wedding procession of the Fire Beacon Empire's Emperor's daughter. You really have a lot of tricks up your sleeves. Even I was almost fooled by you. If it wasn't for you releasing some demonic energy during your battle with Nangong Yi and activating illusory movement, I might have been fooled by you. But Heaven's Net has long arms. You won't be able to escape. Heaven's Net has long arms. When Xiao Han heard the great Sun Emperor's words, he felt very uncomfortable. Moreover, the great Sun Emperor's attitude of controlling everything made Xiao Han feel disgusted and conflicted. Great Sun Emperor, I, Xiao Han, am not a sinner nor a demon. Why do you say Heaven's Net has long arms? Xiao Han, you killed Nangong Yi. So you think that you are someone important, right? The great Sun Emperor said sarcastically. Although Nangong Yi was a demon, he was at the bottom of the cannon fodder. He was lucky. In the selection of the demon, he hugged someone powerful and luckily survived. That's why he became a demon. You killed him. That's nothing. Alright, let's talk about the truth. I already know everything. You don't have to quibble anymore. Follow me. I will decide your life and death. You, what right do you have to decide my life and death? I, Xiao Han, am not guilty. Xiao Han's eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. He clenched his fists so tightly that his nails dug into his palms, causing blood to flow out. If I say you are guilty, then you are guilty. The great Sun Emperor's eyes were like torches as he looked at Xiao Han. I can kill you with a flip of my palm like killing an ant. Therefore you are guilty. You abandoned yourself and fell into the demon Tao. You deserve to die. The great Sun Emperor said casually. This demon Xiao Han. Xiao Han is not a demon. He is a human like us. Princess Mo Hen finally mustered up her courage and said under the pressure of the great Sun Emperor. Princess of the Beacon Fire Empire, shut up. You have no right to speak in front of me. Even the Emperor of the Beacon Fire Empire can only listen to my orders obediently. The tone of the great Sun Emperor was as if he was in control of everything and looked down on all living beings. This is really unfair, to decide someone's life and death so casually. Hu Qinghe murmured indignantly. There is no fairness in this world. The so-called fairness comes from the place where one's fist can hit. This Xiao Han has fallen into the demon Tao. There is demon qi on his body and he even used the demon emperor's natal demon technique without permission. He must be executed. The great Sun Emperor frowned slightly. However, I will interrogate you about your secrets to prevent other humans from imitating you in the future, from abandoning themselves and going astray like you. Ha 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 ha. Xiao Han was so angry that he laughed. Sanctimonious. After all this talk, Isn't it because you are coveting the secrets on my body? What, slaying demons and devils? Those are all excuses. Hypocrite. The great Sun Emperor frowned slightly. Golden light burst out from his eyes and the shadow of the sun, moon and stars appeared. He was obviously angry. At this moment, he well said, "What a hypocrite." An extremely lazy voice sounded. "Great Sun Emperor, you are already a few hundred years old and you are still coveting the secrets of a young man. Really? Can I say some vulgar words?" A young man of medium height, wearing clothes cut from animal skin, walked over from afar. He looked to be around 25 or 26 years old. His appearance was ordinary, but there was a hint of a cynical smile on the corner of his mouth. It made him radiate a strange charm. He held a wooden bow in his hand and carried a quiver of arrows on his back. Those were white bone arrows chiseled from the bones of animals. Each arrow was engraved with runes and seal characters. They surged with power that caused the mountains and rivers to tremble. His leather boots were stained with ancient leaves that came from the depths of the great wilderness. He seemed to have come from the great wilderness. As he walked, the bone arrows in the quiver gently knocked against each other, making a clear sound like wind chimes. "It's you?" The great Sun Emperor's expression changed drastically. His voice was slightly trembling, showing his deep fear. "You didn't enter the great wilderness. Rumor has it that you have already died in that ancient territory. You idiot." The young man frowned in disdain. "How could I die?" "Alright, since you all think that I am dead, why don't you dare to pull out the bone arrow that sealed the demon emperor? What a useless piece of trash." "What?" This young man is holding a wooden bow in his hand and carrying a quiver of bone arrows. He is the supreme expert that sealed the demon emperor? He destroyed the demon emperor crystal with one arrow. Xiao Han's expression was also shocked. "Xiao Han, right?" The young man looked at Xiao Han and his attitude was slightly intimate. "I heard that junior brother Dongfang and junior brother Fang Ling admire you very much. Even the sect leader thinks highly of you. Not bad. You are indeed a very pleasing young man." "Ah. You are?" Xiao Han's mind went blank. He blurted out, "You are the direct disciple of our Pure Rain sect." Eldest senior brother? Who said I am not?" The young man smiled lazily. Then he looked at the great Sun Emperor. "You over there, are you going to scram or do I have to make you scram?" Chapter 116. Xiao Han was truly shocked. These true disciples of the Pure Rain sect were all arrogant. From Fang Ling to Dongfang Qin and this eldest senior brother in front of him, they were all arrogant and unruly. Especially this eldest senior brother who directly asked the great Sun Emperor to get lost. How domineering. However, the son of the sun was enraged. His calm and indifferent face instantly turned purple. Above his head, there was a blazing sun, and the eyes of the god sitting solemnly in it moved slightly, as if he wanted to open his eyes. Buzz, 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 buzz. The eldest senior brother's quiver and the bone arrows on his back were like living creatures. They slightly trembled and jumped, emitting the monstrous and ferocious aura of ancient divine beasts. The clouds moved in all directions and the mountains and rivers changed color. In the air, the roar of ferocious beasts resounded and bursts of Zen music penetrated into the souls of people. It was as if the eldest senior brother was not carrying the bone arrows, but a nest of giant ferocious beasts. However, the eldest senior brother's expression didn't change. He didn't show his emotions and was even as lazy and frivolous as before. "Great Sun Emperor, do you want to try?" Xiaoming Chuyu. Finally, the battle intent and rage of the Emperor of the Great Sun was defeated. Deep fear could be seen in his almost golden pupils. "This is the blazing Sun Empire. Retract your arrogance. It's not that your Fire Beacon Empire has a famous evil hero. Seriously speaking, the evil heroes of the Blazing Sun Empire are superior to your Fire Beacon Empire in both quantity and quality." Xiao Mingqiu? So, eldest senior brother is called Xiao Mingqiu. Xiao Han murmured. TSK. Great Sun Emperor, the Blazing Sun Empire does have evil heroes that are stronger than me. However, I will kill you today and escape into the great wilderness. Is there a problem? Don't tell me that I, Xiao Mingqiu, don't even have the chance to escape? Aren't you looking down on me too much? Ah. Do you want to try? Xiao Mingqiu's eyes revealed his eagerness. The great son of heaven finally gave in completely. He looked at Xiao Han coldly, his eyes filled with resentment and hatred. It was as if he was venting all the resentment that had accumulated in his chest on Xiao Han. She was thoroughly venting her anger on him. However, he did not dare to make a move. Xiao Mingqiu had indeed made him hesitate to take action. Xiao Mingqiu, even the sect master of your Pure Rain sect has promised not to interfere in this matter. Yet, you are here to interfere. The great Son of Heaven spoke coldly. However, even if I don't make a move, I can't. The world was so big, there should be countless evil heroes who would take action. Xiao Han knew the secrets of the demon race, and he would definitely attract many heroes to fight for him. Xiao Mingqiu. You protected him this time, but you can't protect him forever. Sooner or later he will be left alone and easily killed. You don't have to worry about this. Xiao Mingqiu stretched his back and said softly. As long as he becomes a hero and makes contributions, he will be protected by the hero tower. No one dared to kill him at will. As far as I know. There are some evil heroes who, in order to increase their combat power, will resort to unscrupulous means and keep demons as their servants. They even extract demon power for their own use. Xiao Han, use one or two of the demon race's secret techniques. It's just a small matter. Ha 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 ha. The great Son of Heaven suddenly laughed wildly. His laughter was filled with disdain and sarcasm. He looked at Xiao Han with deep disdain. He can become a hero? Ridiculous. Utter nonsense. Perhaps he had some innate talent, but it was definitely not outstanding. Xiao Mingqiu, you also know that the selection of the demon hero is getting harder and harder, and the death rate is getting higher and higher. This year's selection of the demon hero, there will be the young generation of the mysterious ancient country and the great wilderness. Their bloodline is naturally stronger than ours, and they even have the royal bloodline that looks down on the world. Do you think that this Xiao Han can fight against those naturally powerful races? Surprisingly, Xiao Mingqiu did not deny what the great Son of Heaven said. But Xiao Han must become a hero. Otherwise he will die in the endless pursuit. Good. Xiao Mingqiu, since this is the case, I, the great Son of Heaven, will not pursue Xiao Han anymore. Why don't we make a bet? The great Son of Heaven's eyes lit up. Do you dare to bet? Sigh. Great Son of Heaven, don't provoke me, this is very clumsy and childish. Xiao Mingqiu yawned. You want to bet whether Xiao Han can become a hero or not? Let's bet on this. The great Son of Heaven had a look of confidence. Do you dare to accept? What do you want to bet? Xiao Mingqiu scratched his hair. In fact, we don't dare to really kill each other, so it is impossible to bet with our lives. But there are still many things we can bet on. How about this, before this year's selection of the demon hero, we will discuss the bet again. This time you will definitely lose. Therefore, I need to think about what I can win from you. The great Son of Heaven laughed very happily. Alright, I, Xiao Mingqiu, accept the bet. Since this is the case, can you get lost? Xiao Mingqiu waved his hand. The great Son of Heaven took another look at Xiao Han and flicked his nails. Xiao Han, you are really lucky you can live for another 2 years. 2 years later, die in the cruel selection of the demon hero. As soon as he finished his words, the great Son of Heaven turned into a ray of sunlight and rushed to the sky, disappearing without a trace in a breath. The dragon's head was nowhere to be seen. Big senior brother. Little brother thanks big senior brother for your help. Xiao Han hurriedly said. Alright, come with me. Xiao Mingqiu waved his hand at Xiao Han and brought him around a bald rock mountain. Xiao Mingqiu found a patch of grass and sat down. He plucked a piece of hay and put it in his mouth, giving off an uninhibited and relaxed aura. Xiao Han followed suit and sat down. Junior brother Xiao Han, if you don't become a hero now, only death awaits you. The great Son of Heaven is right, I can't protect you forever, the same goes for Sect Master. Xiao Mingqiu's face showed a rare serious expression. Yes, all along, ever since I went with senior brother Fang Ling to the West region to kill Demon Emperor Qing Lin, I have always been fascinated by the demon hero. I swore in my heart that I would become a demon hero too. Below the immortals are the demon heroes, and below the demon heroes are all living beings. Xiao Han said seriously. Sect Master let you go this time, avoiding the endless pursuit, just to train you so that you can stand out in this year's demon hero trials. Xiao Mingqiu scratched his hair. His hair was very messy. But Sect Master seems to have underestimated the difficulty of this year's demon hero trials. I came from the great wilderness and received news that some of the hidden big clans. Some of the powerful clans in the great wilderness have produced many talented young people in recent years. These people will participate in this year's demon hero trials, making the already cruel trials even more intense. The death rate will climb to a new peak, more terrifying than the previous years. Most of the younger generation in the east, south, west, and north regions will die in this trial. This? Xiaohan frowned. Xiaohan, this world is very big and there are many experts that you don't know about. There were some strange races that were born with terrifying innate talents. It's very eye-catching. Xiao Mingqiu looked at Xiaohan seriously. In countless mysterious regions, there are powerful clans that you don't know about. There are powerful tribes that you don't know about, ancient countries that have supreme experts who can change the color of mountains and rivers, and make heaven and earth tremble. Eldest senior brother, I believe you. I believe you. Xiaohan nodded his head heavily. Then he gritted his teeth and said, however, no matter what, I must become a demon hero. I will step on anyone who stands in my way. I will trample them to death. Whether it is the experts of the ancient countries or the barbarians of the great wilderness, none of them can stop me from becoming a demon hero. Ah, you have a strong fighting spirit? That's not bad. No wonder even the sect master favors you so much. Seriously, the sect master rarely values a disciple so much. Xiao Mingqiu looked at Xiaohan with a thoughtful expression. According to the sect master's original plan, you will go to the East region to train for 2 years. But it may not be able to guarantee that you will advance by leaps and bounds. Eldest senior brother, where should I go to train? The West region? The West region is a barren desert and there are few human countries. The demon clan is rampant. Should I go to the West region alone? Xiaohan said. When the West region was mentioned, Xiaohan could not help but think of Demon Emperor Qinglin, who was secretly watching him. The West region. The West region? Xiao Mingqiu said slowly. The West region is still a little lacking. You only have 2 years. After a pause, Xiao Mingqiu stood up. He spat out the dried grass in his mouth, patted the dried grass on his body and stretched. Let's go. I'll bring you to a place. After saying that, Xiao Mingqiu walked forward with Xiaohan following behind him. Where is eldest senior brother bringing me? To train between life and death. Xiao Mingqiu stopped and looked at Xiaohan. The laziness in his eyes faded and was replaced with a cold light, like that of an ancient divine beast. In these 2 years you might die in training. You have to think carefully. But I have to remind you that your current speed of improvement is far from enough. You can't compare to the younger generation from the mysterious countries. Of course, you can also go to the West region to kill the demon clan. Then I will follow eldest senior brother. I am willing to accept the training between life and death, Xiaohan replied. All right. I'll bring you there, Xiao Mingqiu said simply. But, eldest senior brother, how should we settle the princess and the others of the Beacon Fire Empire? If we abandon them here, we don't know if they will attract trouble. They are all very weak and do not have the ability to protect themselves. Moreover, from Nangong Ye's attitude, the emperor of the Beacon Fire Empire did not seem to care about the life and death of Princess Mo Hen and her retainers. This is worth pondering. Princess Mo Hen once did me a favor. Let them go with me. I can settle them in a safe place, but only for 2 years. After 2 years, if you are still alive, then you can take them away, Xiao Mingqiu said. Thank you, eldest senior brother. Xiaohan nodded and expressed his thanks. Back at the camp. When Nangong Ye's generals and soldiers saw that Xiaohan and Xiao Mingqiu had temporarily left, they all scattered and ran for their lives. Only Princess Mo Hen and thousands of her retainers were left in the camp. Princess Senior Hu, this time, you too can follow my Cloud Sect's eldest senior brother. He will settle you in a safe place, Xiaohan went over and said. At this moment, heavens! This is... Hu Qinghe's eyes bulged as he looked at the sky in shock. Princess Mo Hen and her retainers were also frightened out of their wits. Xiaohan followed their gaze and looked over. Tens of thousands of divine lights surged out from Xiao Mingqiu's true meridians and turned into a divine bird in the sky. It was about 10 acres in size, brightly colored and had very beautiful feathers. Its head was like a chicken, its jaw like a swallow, its neck like a snake, its chest like a swan, and its tail like a fish. Divine flames burned on the divine bird's feathers. It emitted an ancient aura that made the heaven and earth tremble. Its entire body flowed with 5-colored divine light. This looks like a phoenix. Xiaohan swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Let's go, junior brother Xiaohan. Let them come up, I will take you away. Xiao Mingqiu stretched his waist and said. P.S. There will be no updates for today. In the afternoon, I noticed that I had a cold, so I need to spend some time to sort out the plot. According to the monthly votes, I still owe a few chapters. But don't worry, it's written in black and white, I will not go back on my word, I said with integrity. Chapter 117. Xiaohan didn't expect his first senior brother's true qi to take the form of a divine bird similar to a phoenix. A colossal creature. Moreover, it was extremely agile. The bird's eyes had a monstrous ominous glint. Its cries could pierce through gold and crack stones. When its wings flapped, thunderstorms were generated. It was like a living creature. It must be a supreme expert at the high level of the true qi realm to be able to use true qi to take the form of such a lifelike first senior brother's cultivation is truly unfathomable. Xiaohan raised his eyebrows. However, with a flash of the saber intent, Xiaohan's eyes shone like the stars. There will be a day when my cultivation is comparable to first senior brothers. I will even surpass first senior brothers. I, Xiaohan, have cultivated from a living target to where I am today. I've killed demon emperors, elite demons of the human race. Nothing is impossible. Let's go. I'll bring you guys to a place. Xiao Mingqiu said lazily. That place is a hidden paradise where you can avoid being hunted down. Under Xiao Mingqiu's arrangement, Xiaohan, Princess Mo Hen, Hu Qinghe, and many family servants abandoned their mounts and carriages. They carefully climbed onto the back of the true qi divine bird with hearts full of admiration and admiration. Among the princess's many dowries, only the carriages filled with top-grade true qi spirit stones were left behind by Xiaohan and moved onto the bird's back. The divine bird let out a cry and turned into a ray of light. It flew high up into the sky and disappeared into the clouds. Xiao Mingqiu lazily sat on the bird's head. His body emitted a treasure light that enveloped everyone on the bird's back, preventing them from falling to their deaths from the wind. The divine bird soared tens of thousands of meters into the sky. With an unimaginable speed, it drew an untraceable arc across the sky. First senior brother. Xiaohan walked over and sat beside Xiao Mingqiu. What is the life and death training that first senior brother mentioned? Are you going to bring me to hunt the demon race and savage beasts? Xiao Mingqiu didn't answer the question. Junior brother Xiaohan, your physical body is quite good. With more than 1,000 cauldrons of strength, you should be cultivating a body refining technique, right? Xiaohan was stunned and immediately nodded. I had a little fortuitous encounter and obtained a body refining technique that can refine the bones and organs of the body. However, it was difficult for him to contend against a Jinqi realm expert. Cultivating true qi is the orthodox way. Not necessarily. Xiao Mingqiu's gaze suddenly became very vigilant. His eyeballs turned and looked left and right. Then he put his arm around Xiaohan's shoulders. He spoke in a mosquito-like voice. Junior brother Xiaohan, you only have 2 years. 2 years later, you will participate in the Devil Hero trial. If you can't become a Devil Hero, you will have to face the Devil Hero. Not only will you die, I will also be humiliated by the great Son of Heaven, and I will even lose an item to him. Thus, in these 2 years, I will urge junior brother Xiaohan to work hard in your cultivation. Also, I can tell you a secret. Huh? Secret? Xiaohan saw Xiao Mingqiu's cautious look. It was as if he was afraid that others would hear him. He found it funny and a little nervous. Eldest senior brother. What secret? Xiao Mingqiu said in an extremely low voice. This secret was discovered and concluded by me. Even junior brother Dongfang, junior brother Fang Ling, and even the sect master. I've never revealed anything. Now that it's a matter of great importance, I'll tell you. The stronger the body, the more powerful it is. The easier it is to break through the acupoints. Xiao Mingqiu whispered to Xiaohan. Body. Xiaohan instinctively blurted out. Sh. Xiao Mingqiu nervously made a shushing gesture. Junior brother Xiaohan, the technique cannot be passed to 6 ears. Shush shush. Xiaohan looked left and right and laughed involuntarily. Eldest senior brother, no one will hear what we say. Princess Mo Hen and her servants are far away. How can they hear us? Senior brother is being too meticulous. Xiaohan felt that although his eldest senior brother was unfathomable, he would occasionally show a childlike temperament, simple and simple. In short, junior brother Xiaohan, this secret is not a small matter. Xiao Mingqiu was still very cautious. The stronger the body, the easier it is to break through the acupoints. Why is it that the younger generation of the ancient countries and the powerful clans of the great wilderness have an easier time cultivating compared to the martial artists of the 4 regions? On one hand, it's because they are naturally strong, vigorous, and abnormal. On the other hand, their bodies are too terrifying. Some of the most powerful experts of the ancient clans can tear apart fierce beasts with their bare hands when they were young. They are talented. After having a strong body, they can cultivate their true qi and break through the acupoints with irresistible force. Xiao Mingqiu laughed dryly. Of course, this secret might not be only known by me. Eldest senior brother, it seems like this. When I was in the physical body realm, I trained my body to the fullest. My bones were sparkling and translucent, and my internal organs were like diamond and iron. After I broke through the first acupoint, I actually burst my acupoints one after another, and only stopped after I broke through the 9th acupoint, Xiaohan added. Yes. Xiao Mingqiu slapped his thigh. Junior brother Xiaohan, I can see that you have cultivated a body tempering cultivation technique, so your body is different from ordinary people. Therefore, in these 2 years, I will mainly help you continue tempering your body, making it comparable to a desolate beast, immortal and indestructible. With a strong body, breaking through acupoints will be easier. So the physical body realm and the true qi realm actually have such a complementary relationship. Xiaohan came to a sudden realization. He thought to himself, I've learned something new this time. In the past, senior brother Ling had never talked to him about these things. He might not know as much as eldest senior brother. Eldest senior brother, in 2 years, can my body be comparable to an ancient beast? Do I need to find treasures to nourish my body? No, I will bring you to an ancient village of the great wilderness. You don't need to ask too many questions for now. In short, you will understand once you get there. Xiao Mingqiu said mysteriously. Ancient village of the great wilderness. Xiaohan licked his lips. Eldest senior brother, what does the great wilderness look like? The great wilderness is boundless. It is many times larger than the north, south, east, west and the hero region of the central region. There are countless secrets and ancient countries in the great wilderness. There are also extremely powerful tribes and even primordial species. Xiao Mingqiu said frankly with assurance. With my cultivation, I can only roam around the periphery of the great wilderness. I don't dare to go too deep. Otherwise, I will be killed by mysterious and powerful beings. Alright, there are also demons in the great wilderness. Legend has it that in the depths of the great wilderness, there is a demon emperor that hibernates in a cave. Perhaps, the extremely powerful demons of the human race will go to the depths of the great wilderness to train, but I do not dare to lose my life in vain. Xiaohan was dumbfounded. Eldest senior brother, you're already very strong. Junior brother Xiaohan, your horizons are still too small. You don't even know what a true expert looks like. You haven't had the chance to see it yet. Alright, let's talk about the matter at hand. This time, I'll bring you to an ancient village in the wasteland and let you live there for a period of time. Once you've adapted to the life there, I'll bring you to go through life and death training. After a pause, Xiao Mingqiu added. This world is huge, but generally speaking, the true super experts are all extremely powerful. There are 2 places where it can be born. One is the deepest part of the great wilderness, the other is the central region, the Devil Hero region. Devil Hero region? Xiaohan did not understand. His knowledge was too shallow. Yes, the north, south, east and west regions are nothing. The central region was truly a place of crouching tigers and hidden dragons. The experts were as numerous as trees in a forest. The central region was known as the Devil Hero domain, and it was the base camp of the Devil Heroes. All the Devil Heroes of the Jinwu continent would appear and walk in the Devil Hero domain. Among them were the legendary heroes. However, ordinary Devil Heroes would rarely have the chance to see them, Xiao Mingqiu said solemnly. The Devil Hero Tower is the authority organization that controls billions of Devil Heroes, and it sets the rules of the Devil Hero world. Someone once said that the master of the Devil Hero Tower was an immortal. But this is only a legend. It has never been proven. Xiaohan, you're not a Devil Hero now, so you don't have the right to enter the central region, the Devil Hero region. Alright Xiaohan. I've told you so much now, but you can't accept it. Work hard on your cultivation. Maybe one day you'll become a famous person in this world. Xiao Mingqiu encouraged him. Yes, Xiaohan said with a determined look. Don't worry, eldest senior brother. You won't lose to the great Sun Emperor. I'll do my best to become a Devil Hero. Alright. Then work hard on your cultivation. There's still a long way to go before we reach the great wilderness ancient village. I'll take a nap first. Xiao Mingqiu yawned, leaned back and lay down. Soon he started snoring. You can sleep like this? Xiaohan was speechless. Then Xiaohan walked away and found a place on the broad back of the bird. He sat down cross-legged and started to cultivate silently. For a moment, Xiaohan's entire body was shining with golden light and bone texts were flickering. The supreme-grade True Qi Spirit Stone was constantly being refined in Xiaohan's dried-up True Acupoint. The 100 demon veins on the Demon Emperor's palm tattoo on his left arm, which had been drained of demon power, were throbbing slowly. Traces of glass-like demon light flickered, slowly producing demon power. At the same time, Xiaohan was recalling and digesting the experience of the battle with Nangong Yi. Just like that, 10 days and 10 nights passed. Xiao Mingqiu actually slept for 10 days and 10 nights. On this day, Xiaohan, look at the sky in front, those rays of light are so beautiful. Princess Emohen came to Xiaohan's side, stretched out her slender jade-like finger and pointed at the blue dome of the sky. That place was enshrouded with 7 colored rays of light. It was as bright as the stars, misty and extremely graceful. It was a spectacle. However, when the divine bird flew closer to the sky full of rays of light, Xiaohan suddenly felt a terrifying repulsive force. It seemed that the rays of light wanted to repel Xiaohan by 1,000 miles. Soon, not only Xiaohan but also Hu Qinghe and the other True Qi realm martial artists, even Princess Emohen and the ordinary people who were not familiar with martial arts, deeply felt this inexplicable and powerful repulsive force. Young hero Xiaohan, it seems that we can't enter the world behind the rays of light, that seems to be a door. It repel people by 1,000 miles, Hu Qinghe stammered. Finally Xiao Mingqiu stretched and finally woke up. In front of us is the great wilderness. Ordinary people don't have the authority to enter the great wilderness and will be blocked by the barrier. You must have the Devil Hero token. This is the key to open the door. Xiao Mingqiu turned his right hand and a palm-sized Devil Hero token appeared in his hand, flashing with a mysterious energy. Misty light refracted. Eldest senior brother, I also have a Devil Hero token. Xiaohan took out Nangong Ye's Devil Hero token from his True Acupoint. However, Nangong Ye's Devil Hero token was like a dead object in Xiaohan's hand. It was dim and did not move at all. Junior brother Xiaohan, after the Devil Hero died, his Devil Hero token became useless. It's just a piece of scrap metal. This Devil Hero token is bound to the Devil Hero's soul. Alright, throw away that broken thing in your hand. Xiao Mingqiu shrugged. Is that so? Xiaohan threw away Nangong Ye's Devil Hero token helplessly. Alright, I will bring you into the great wilderness world. Xiao Mingqiu also threw out his Devil Hero token. Suddenly, a strange light appeared and a door was broken open in the light screen. The divine bird carried Xiaohan and the others in a flash. I entered the great wilderness world? Xiaohan was shocked. The next moment, when he opened his eyes, he was shocked by the scene in front of him. Chapter 118. This was an extremely vast and endless world. Boundless and boundless. It exuded an ancient and primitive aura. There was also a hair-raising sense of danger. There were huge mountains that were tens of thousands of feet high. There were endless mountain ranges. There were lakes filled with spiritual qi. In the primeval forest, ancient trees towered into the sky. There were some ancient trees that were thousands of meters tall. Their luxuriant branches and leaves covered thousands of acres of land. This could be an ancient tree that had grown for hundreds of millions of years. It was two vicissitudes. In the sky there was a bird with bright feathers gliding. It was unknown what species it was, but it was full of vitality and had an ancient aura. The bird's eyes were filled with lightning and flames. Beside the lake there was a huge beast drinking water. Dong, dong, dong. A 20-meter-long fierce tiger came out from behind a 10,000-meter-high stone mountain. It stepped on the ground and caused an earthquake. It looked up at Xiaohan and the others and roared. The tiger's eyes shot out beams of light that could penetrate gold and crack stones. However, the divine bird formed by Xiao Mingqiu's true qi let out a slight bird cry and the huge tiger trotted away, as if it was very unwilling. On the back of the divine bird, Princess Emohen, Hu Qinghe and the others were all frightened and trembled. Xiaohan's mouth was dry. Eldest senior brother, is this the great wilderness? It's really so desolate. There are so many magical and terrifying creatures. Thinking that he had to temper himself in this great wilderness for 2 years, Xiaohan was nervous and excited. But at the same time, Xiaohan thought that the geniuses of the younger generation of the ancient tribes and mysterious countries that grew up in this kind of environment should be very terrifying. Perhaps they were not comparable to the disciples of the sects in the north, south, east and west regions. Junior brother Xiaohan, don't be nervous. This is just the outer area of the great wilderness. There are not too many fatal dangers here. Xiao Mingchu's eyes revealed a very relaxed expression. It was as if he had returned to his warm hometown. Xiaohan was surprised. Eldest senior brother, you seem to have lived in this great wilderness for a long time? Yes. Xiao Mingchu nodded. Many years ago, I left the sect and sneaked into the great wilderness to gain experience. I am not like junior brother Dongfang and junior brother Fangling who stayed in the north, south, east and west regions to cultivate. I like the excitement of the great wilderness. The divine bird began to descend. That is? Suddenly Xiaohan discovered that in a wasteland not far away, there was a huge figure. It was the skeleton of a giant beast. The skeleton was extremely malevolent. It was 100 zhang in length and sparkling white like jade. It exuded an overflowing malevolence, and the air around it began to ripple and distort. The dense savage aura made one's scalp go numb. Oh, the skeleton was not bad. It can be used to chisel bone arrows. Xiao Mingchu's right hand shot out like lightning, and a huge palm of true energy grabbed the skeleton. In the next moment, the 300 feet long skeleton disappeared without a trace. No one knew how Xiao Mingchu had managed to keep this huge skeleton. It was unbelievable. Seeing Xiao Mingchu's means, Princess Mo Hen Hu Qinghe, and the others were nearly scared silly. Very soon, the divine bird flew lower and lower. After flying close to the ground for tens of miles, the divine bird transformed into tens of thousands of beams of splendid light, merging into all of Xiao Mingchu's true meridians. Everyone followed Xiao Mingchu's lead. He began to walk. Xiaohan did not know Xiao Mingchu's cultivation level. He tried to observe Xiao Mingchu's vitality to see how many true meridians he had opened, but he could not tell. Xiao Mingchu's body was bright and deep like the sea. Unfathomable. Xiao Mingchu walked in front. The old horse led the way. The group passed through a primitive jungle that was overgrown with hazel bushes. Beside a natural lake in the forest, Xiaohan and the others saw a group of colorful sika deer. Each of them was a few zhang long and it was a marvelous sight. However, the giant sika deer did not take the initiative to attack. Both sides were peaceful. Out of the forest, suddenly Xiao Mingchu's ears trembled a few times. He stopped and signaled Xiaohan and the others to be quiet. In the next moment, Xiao Mingchu took out a wooden bow and took out a bone arrow from the quiver on his back. He drew the bow and knocked the arrow into the shape of a full moon, aiming at the sky. However, apart from the pure white cotton clouds and the blazing sun, there was nothing else in the sky. Everyone felt puzzled. However, at this moment, Gua, a bird cry came from the east side of the sky. Very quickly, a 20-meter-long wand flew over with lightning speed. The feathers on its body were fiery red, burning with flames. Its aura was so strong that it caused the earth to tremble. At this moment, Xiao Mingchu moved. A bone arrow shot towards the wand flying high in the sky. After the bone arrow left the bow, it instantly transformed into a flood dragon that bared its fangs and brandished its claws. Endless divine light wrapped around it. It roared and roared, its killing intent shocking the sky. The sky suddenly darkened. Wind, rain, thunder and lightning lingered around the fierce flood dragon formed by the bone arrow. It was as if there was only this arrow left in the world. The light pierced through the sky. Numerous runes appeared, like dazzling and blazing fireworks. Gua. The wand let out a tragic cry. It had a premonition of its impending death. It wanted to fly higher. However, pooh. The fierce flood dragon directly pierced through it. A huge rune enveloped the wand. It completely sealed its life force. Xiao Mingchu actually killed a fierce wand with an ancient aura with one arrow. Boom. Without waiting for the fierce wand's corpse to fall, Xiao Mingchu's right hand grabbed the huge wand's corpse with his true chi palm. The bone arrow that killed the fierce wand was like a living creature. It circled in the sky and flew down. It was inserted into the quiver on Xiao Mingchu's back obediently. This wand is quite fat. It is enough for the villagers of the ancient village to eat for more than 10 days. The bird's bones can be chiseled into bone arrows. Xiao Mingchu said casually. It was as if he'd only killed a wild boar or wild dog earlier, and not a ferocious and vigorous vicious one. Eldest martial brother, you are really a terrifying hunter. Xiao Han sighed in admiration. Junior martial brother, please don't laugh at me. Xiao Mingchu shrugged his shoulders indifferently. The creatures in the outskirts of the Great Desolate are not scary. That wand's bloodline is not pure. Seriously speaking, its combat power is far inferior to a demon emperor. Junior martial brother Xiao Han. After this trial, if you can kill all kinds of fierce beasts and birds in the outskirts of the Great Desolate, the possibility of you becoming a demon hero in 2 years will greatly increase. Xiao Mingqiu smiled and said, "Yes." Xiao Han nodded. Xiao Han knew that with his current combat power, even if he used all his strength and used the illusory movement and sky demon god investiture, he might not be able to kill the fierce one. Moreover, he might be torn apart by the fierce one. If he could kill the fierce beasts in the outskirts of the Great Desolate, it would prove that Xiao Han's combat power had greatly increased. Eldest martial brother, how should I cultivate when I reach the ancient village? Xiao Han asked Xiao Mingqiu with great interest. No need to cultivate. Xiao Mingqiu raised his head and smiled. Junior martial brother Xiao Han. As long as you can adapt to the life in the ancient village, you will have completed the trial. Adapt to the life in the ancient village? Xiao Han was doubtful. Yes, I will arrange for you to live in the ancient village for 1.5 years. I hope you can adapt to the life in the ancient village as soon as possible. Xiao Mingqiu smiled mysteriously. The ancient village is very well hidden. Even the monsters who train in the Great Desolate or even the natives of the Great Desolate might not know about it. I accidentally discovered it a few decades ago. The ancient village is isolated from the rest of the world, and the villagers are very simple and kind. Junior martial brother Xiao Han. If you can live in the ancient village for 1.5 years and integrate into the lives of the villagers, then after you walk out of the ancient village, you will be able to easily kill that fierce one. Moreover, your true meridian points will be continuously opened. You will be able to improve even further. Oh right, eldest martial brother, you said before? You will help me refine my body. Then, are you going to the ancient village to refine your body? Xiao Han asked repeatedly. You will know when you get there. Xiao Mingqiu refused to reveal the truth. In the next 3 days, Xiao Mingqiu brought Xiao Han and the others to walk through desolate places. They even went around a long and narrow valley. The further they walked, the more desolate it became. Eventually there were no birds or wild beasts to be seen. It was as if they were walking to a place where humans and beasts were extinct. On the morning of the 4th day, everyone came to the side of a huge lake. The lake water was very strange. It was ink-black and viscous. It emitted a fishy smell that made people want to vomit. Xiao Han, this lake water is so smelly. Princess Mo Hen pinched her nose and mumbled to Xiao Han. It is quite smelly. Xiao Han frowned. And each of you drink a liter of lake water. Suddenly Xiao Mingqiu stopped and pointed at the dirty and smelly lake water. You must drink a liter. Everyone looked at each other. This lake water was unbearably smelly. Just smelling it made people want to vomit, not to mention drinking it. Moreover, they had to drink a liter of it. Eldest martial brother, this can't be, right? Xiao Han was bewildered. He looked at Xiao Mingqiu, trying to discern if Xiao Mingqiu was playing a prank. However, Xiao Mingqiu's expression was very serious. Since he knew Xiao Mingqiu, this was the first time Xiao Han saw him so serious. Drink quickly. Xiao Mingqiu urged. Next, we will enter a mysterious ancient village. That place is very strange. If outsiders do not drink a liter of the lake water, they will die after entering the village. Drink? Xiao Han observed for a while. After confirming that Xiao Mingqiu was not joking, he said to Princess Mo Hen, Hu Qinghe, and the others. After speaking, Xiao Han also squatted down and wanted to drink the lake water. Junior martial brother Xiao Han, you don't need to drink. Xiao Mingqiu immediately said. Xiao Han raised his head and looked at Xiao Mingqiu. Eldest martial brother, didn't you say that outsiders will die after entering the ancient village without drinking a liter of the lake water? Junior martial brother Xiao Han, you will not die. Your corporeal body is much stronger than theirs. Moreover, for the sake of the trial, you must not drink this lake water. Xiao Mingqiu smiled mysteriously. Let them drink it. Princess Mo Hen obviously believed in Xiao Han now. Thus she did not say much. She took a water pouch from the maid behind her, squatted down, and filled the pouch with stinky lake water. Then she pinched her nose and began to drink. Seeing that the princess had started to drink, the others did not hesitate and drank to their heart's content. However, this lake water was obviously very unpleasant to drink. The more they drank, the uglier their faces became. Some even vomited. Remember, you must drink a liter of the lake water. Otherwise, you will die in the ancient village. Xiao Mingqiu cautiously reminded. 17. What does the lake water taste like? Xiao Han curiously asked Princess Mo Hen. Very bitter, very bitter. It's like drinking medicine. Princess Emohen stuck out her tongue and continued to drink. A few corporeal body warriors and young servant girls drank a few mouthfuls. When they really could not drink anymore, they pretended to drink and began to whisper. It's too bad. I don't want to drink a liter. It will kill me. What ancient village is that? It can't be that we will die the moment we enter, right? This evil hero must be scaring us. Young hero Xiaohan did not drink this stinky water. Moreover, we drank a few mouthfuls. We should be fine. 2 hours later. Alright, everyone drank enough, right? Then let's go. The ancient village is just in front. Xiao Mingchu led the crowd around the stinky lake and continued forward. The road ahead was getting more and more desolate. Moreover, there were no longer any plants growing. Everywhere was filled with a kind of pitch-black stone that was like iron. Other than this stone, there were no other substances. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.